Sal's given her home a camouflage makeover.
Lovely.
She paid for it with a new Barclaycard Platinum credit card, so she'll pay no interest on purchases for up to 21 months, helping her spread her costs. Now she's found a way to pay for her makeover. Sadly, she can't find anything else. Where's my phone? Where's the door? What you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. Check if you're eligible at barclaycard.co.uk. Barclaycard. Make money work for you. Representative example. 24.9% APR representative variable. 24.9% purchase rate per annum variable based on £1,200 credit limit. Subject to application, financial circumstances and borrowing history. New customers only. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
Girls, I've had an absolute nightmare.
What? Tell us!
No. It's too embarrassing.
No, you have to.
Okay, one sec. Let me turn my camera on. Stop. It said indigo husk on the back.
So screenshotting his babe. Your hair's blue. No, it's not that bad.
Really?
You look good.
I look like Papa Smurf. Oh, yeah.
Three's network is gigahertz, so yours can giggle till it hurts. Life needs a big network. 3.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Lookers Audi. Looking to sell your Audi? Contact them today for a no-obligation quotation. The McTominay Magic. Scott McTominay scores! The rubbish performance against Spain.
It's the way they play. For me, it's a bit rubbish.
The Oslo Miracle.
The away fans were down the other end, but the noise that they were making, and still even now it makes the hair in the back of my neck stand up.
It's all come down to tonight.
Hi, I'm Kenny Maclean. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Hi, I'm John McGinn.
We've got McGinn and one game to win. The Tartan Army Tour of Germany moves on to Stuttgart, Scotland versus Hungary. We all know what it means.
Scotland breaking at pace.
Live from Stuttgart with the Tartan Army, Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Yes, good evening and welcome to Clyde One Super Scoreboard live from Stuttgart on a potentially history-defining night for Scotland at the Euros. Hungary, the opposition, but the picture is complicated. A win probably enough to go through, and even a draw might be enough in the days to come. A struggle against Germany, followed by encouragement against the Swiss leave Steve Clarke's side in with a chance. Hundreds of thousands of fans have descended on Germany. Can the team deliver? We're close to finding out. I'm Gordon Duncan, and joining me is Gordon Dalziel and Mark Wilson.
History awaits the players, Steve Clarke and his full staff. They can get a victory tonight against Hungary, and they'll almost certainly see us through to the knockout stages for the first time. Quite remarkable. A draw might be enough, but we can't guarantee that. Steve Clarke's men will be going all out for the win and hoping to impress the thousands and thousands of supporters who have made their way here to the stadium. It was empty here for a couple of days. It is jam-packed. The atmosphere has been cranked up in the city, and we just can't wait for Kickoff to come around.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Munich and Cologne were something special. This has went up another notch, I've got to say. We've been outside, Gordon. We're a stone throw away from the stadium, where hopefully Scotland can make history tonight. The Tartan Army are ready for it. I hope the team is ready for it.
Yes, Mark Wilson and Gordon Dalziel in the shadow of the Stuttgart Arena, where Steve Clarke's team will take to the pitch and try and make history tonight. The view from home comes from the one and only Hugh Keevins.
Steve Clarke says that football is a game of emotions. Well, tonight we require emotional intelligence as well as tactical intelligence. We were swallowed up by the occasion in Munich and lost 5-1 to Germany. We lived with the tension in Cologne and drew 1-1 with Switzerland. Tonight, the weight of history means only a win will do. I wouldn't like us, Gordon, to rely on a draw being sufficient. A win puts us in a favourable position. These players carry the weight of history on their shoulders. It is an onerous burden, but if you want to live with the big boys, you have to be a big boy.
And who will the big boys be tonight for Steve Clarke? So much debate goes into a game like this one. They don't come much bigger. What does the team look like? And what is the view from inside the Stuttgart Arena? We are just outside, so let's cross in live to our reporter Andrew Maclean and find out who plays tonight.
Yeah, well, it all comes down to this. Supporters packing out the stands for this game you just cannot miss. To the left, blue saltires, the Kilt Scotland fans making their way into the ground. To my right, the Hungary supporters who are already making themselves heard. They're draped in red and they are ready for this game as well. But I won't leave you waiting any longer for that important team news. Just the one change for Steve Clarke tonight. Out goes Kieran Tierney. Of course, his tournament is over, and in comes Scott McKenna. So Angus Gunn in goal for Scotland. The right wing back Anthony Ralston is then Jack Hendry, Grant Hanley and Scott McKenna, with Andy Robertson as the left wing back. The four in midfield: Callum McGregor, Billy Gilmore, McTominay and John McGinn. Shay Adams continues to lead the line. The substitutes: Kelly, Clark, Shankland, Christie, Cooper, Armstrong, Morgan, Conway, Jack, McCrory, McLean, Taylor and Forrest. For Hungary, well, there was a big question mark over Dominic Szoboszlai. He didn't train for the last couple of days, but he is in the starting lineup. He is the danger man, and he is the player that Scotland will be looking to keep quiet tonight. I look back to the game on Wednesday night. That national anthem was something special in Cologne, and I think it might even be topped tonight. It is a wonderful looking stadium. It is a stadium that you see referenced a lot when people talk about Hampden, because this used to have a big running track round it. But what they did over the last few years was they brought in the stands behind the goal. It's now nice and compact, and this will be loud. It will be very loud in this stadium, and I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Well, there you have it, Mark Wilson and Gordon Dalziel. Very quickly, what's your reaction to that team news?
Not surprised at all, Gordon. We've been discussing it for a couple of days now. And the impact of Kieran Tierney's injury, how would that affect the team? Would it change the shape? Would it just be a straight swap? Would there be some personnel changes? I think I said at the time I thought it would just be like for like, with Scott McKenna coming into the side and the rest being the same. That's what Steve Clarke's opted for. Let's hope it's the right choice.
Yeah, we discussed whether he could go to a back four, two in the middle, three in front and then one up, but it's a Steve Clarke team. You know, he doesn't make a lot of changes. It's the biggest game for a long, long time, Gordon. So I'm not surprised. I like the fact that McKenna's come in there. He's strong, he's powerful, he's a left-sided player. We just hope we can defend properly tonight and score goals at the other end.
Any big surprises in there for you, Hugh Keevins?
No, I'm glad he's kept faith with Anthony Ralston. We know that he was targeted by the Swiss midweek, and he overcame the responsibility he had to take for the goal that was scored by Shaqiri for Switzerland. He's kept changes to a minimum. I don't think on an occasion like this it is the time to play Tinkerman. Not with the formation, not with the personnel. They all know what's in front of them, and I'm left to draw the conclusion, Gordon, that he really does believe in Che Adams to a greater extent than he does in Lawrence Shankland. But I'd like to think that if we need a goal, and there's every likelihood we will, I'd like to think that Shankland gets more than the 4 minutes he got against Switzerland.
Come on then, it's 0141 951 1025. We might be live here from Stuttgart, but you can still get in touch on the phones in the old-fashioned manner, and we want to hear from you more than ever, because Scotland national team games, I should say, don't come much bigger than this. This show has existed for many, many years, followed all the highs and lows, mostly lows over the last couple of decades, and now it is the chance to make history. So give us a call, 0141 951 1025. The beauty of us being live on location here in Germany is that we can get Scotland fans with us to have their say on the big games. And Hugh Keevins, you will never believe who the Cats dragged in.
No, who?
Take it away, Marvin Bartley.
Oh no! No, listen, it's been absolutely brilliant. I came across on Tuesday, saw the game on Wednesday, and obviously going across to the game in about 15 or 20 minutes tonight as well. So, as you said, a massive, massive occasion for Scotland, and I really hope they can do it.
Marvin McBartley, they're calling him, Hugh Keevins. He's here with the Town Army. He is loving it.
I know the feeling, because two of my grandchildren, like Marvin, born in London, and tonight the funny accents are at a minimum, and they are Scotland jerseys, and right behind Steve Clark. Nice to hear from you, Marv.
Marvin, sum it up for people, because in case people think we're at it or we are being biased, you're an adopted Scot, of course. You were in the stadium the other night, you've sampled it in the city over the last couple of days, you've even been down at Scotland's training base, and you're here tonight. Just try and sum up how big this is.
It's difficult to do so. As you said, the national anthem on Wednesday was spine-tingling. It was absolutely unbelievable, to hear all the Scottish people within the stadium, out singing the Switzerland fans very, very easily. But as I said, I've been to a lot of international games, obviously more England than Scotland, but it was the best national anthem I've ever heard. It really, really was passionate. But as you said, the build-up into this game as well has been absolutely massive. I was in the town earlier, a lot of Scotland fans in real good spirits, and then the closer it's got to the game and the closer I've got to the stadium, the happier they've become. So listen, you really can't sum it up, Gordon. It's a once in a lifetime experience, and that's why I've come across to be a part of it.
Try and be neutral, sort of, then. I know you want Scotland to win, but take our emotion out of it. What does it look like on the field for Scotland tonight? Should we be as confident as everyone is?
Listen, I think it's going to be an extremely difficult game. I think you're seeing two teams that probably both prefer to be without the ball than with it in terms of playing on the counter-attack. I think Hungary are a very, very good team. I watched them against Germany the other day. At 1-0 down, they probably should have scored 2 to put themselves 2-1 ahead. They didn't do that, and then that second goal they conceded was questionable. Obviously, with Gundogan going into the back of their defender. It's not a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. As I said, I was at the game on Wednesday, and Scotland looked very, very tired in probably the last 20 to 25 minutes. So I know you guys have said it, but I'm surprised that there haven't been, a couple of freshen up today. But everyone wants to play in this game. It's a huge game. It's a game that Scotland can most definitely win. But on the flip side of that, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw or Scotland were to lose a game. I think it's two very, very closely matched teams. But as you said, we all hope Scotland go through today. Yeah,
Gordon, I think tactically, if you're playing this game on paper, that's probably the team most would go for, or it's certainly an understandable team. It's close to the other night. McKenna comes in for Kieran Tierney. Other teams at the tournament, though, are using more players than us. Do you expect the legs to be at it tonight?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are crying out to see Shankman, for instance. We'll take him in the equation up front. I was a bit disappointed that he didn't get more game time, because I think he can get as a goal. He's a great goal scorer. He's finished the season in such high confidence, Gordon. He's had a terrific season with Hearts. But I've got to say, I'm not surprised he goes with Adams, because if it was my pick, I'd be going with Adams tonight. I thought Adams worked rate the other night there, leading the line, position to do. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, but I thought he should have maybe come off about 15-20 minutes earlier, and then the fresh legs coming on. Look, I think Marv's right. You look at this team, they're asked to go to the well again tonight in a massive game. It'll be so important for Steve Clark to use these substitutions, and he's got to use them the right time, and he's got to use them wisely.
Yeah, I think that's right, but I think it's the right option. Look, we've got a big squad, and there is decent players in there, but there's no doubt that this is the strongest starting lineup for me. Yes, Christie played the first game, but I think that midfield area, that midfield four is going to be crucial to how this game goes for us. I know we're talking about defence, and we will come under pressure at times because Hungary are a very good side, but if we can control the ball like we did at times against Switzerland, it gives us a better chance of getting up the pitch, and that's why we found ourselves with the same four in there.
The permutations of this, Gordon Dalziel, are quite wide-ranging. You've got a very, very, very small chance. Let's not even think about it, actually. After I mention this, we'll deal with it quickly, that a win isn't enough. But I mean, it probably is. Okay, touch wood, cross your fingers, do whatever. This format should underline that a win is enough. You've even got that bizarre scenario that we touched on earlier, that a draw could be enough if all these other pieces fall into place. Then you look at what it means for Hungary. They are bottom of the group. Not only do they probably need to beat us, they need to beat us well. So what does that do, all of that stuff, for the dynamic of the football match?
I think Steve Clark and the players are just concentrating one thing: get the 3 points tonight, get the result. I totally agree with Mark. Right, I watched bits of the game with Hungary against Germany. I know they've no points on the board, and I know Switzerland 3-1, and people say, well, look at us in Switzerland. This is a decent side. they'll be out to get their first win in the Euros. I think it'll be a dangerous match for us tonight. I think we'll need to defend really brilliantly. I think the midfield will need to dominate in there, and if we can get some chances, especially in the wide areas where Robertson and Ralston getting up the flanks, and obviously Adams working away there, but we'll have to be the top of our game, Gordon, because if we're not, we won't win it.
I think we're going to have to be patient as well, and I'm sure that, or I hope the Tartan Army in the stadium believe that as well. We've took a number of calls and people here and around the ground saying that I hope Steve Clarke goes for it, because he has to go for it. But if you go for it, you can easily get picked off, and this game can run away from you really quickly at this level. So that's why he's went with the same system, the same team. He will be pragmatic, I believe, in his approach. I would like to see start the game the way we did against Switzerland, but there's no way we're going to be throwing caution to the wind and leaving a back three exposed. Steve Clarke's team may just have to soak up some pressure and be really difficult to play against, and then when they get their opportunity, like they did the other night, take it and then defend from there. But I wouldn't like to see us coming out and being so open and going gung-ho and going toe-to-toe, because I believe this Hungarian side can punish you.
Marvin Bartley, what is the key for this Scotland team? It's fairly familiar now. This group's been together a long time. It's a similar feel from the qualification campaign, apart from a few injuries. What's key to this team succeeding tonight?
I think the guys have touched on it there. I think we have to defend extremely well. I think Hungary are very, very dangerous on the counter-attack. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they try and attack down our right-hand side, their left. Because they've got a lot of pace down that left-hand side. So Hendry and Ralston's relationship's going to be very, very important today. They're going to have to be patient. It's one of those things, you spoke about it earlier, Gordon, that 2 points may be enough. But for Hungary, they have to win this game of football.
And win it by a distance, really.
Well, listen, I think 3 points will take them through. I genuinely do. I think if they get 3 points, it will take them through. But Steve Clarke and the players will know that, so they don't have to go and, throw caution to the wind straight away. Hungary have to win this game of football. So the longer it goes on, the more they'll begin to attack, the more the spaces will open up. And as Gordon said there, then you make the substitutions, then you freshen it up, you get players on the pitch and can win this game of football. But it's so important that Scotland are patient, they don't go gung-ho, and as Mark said earlier, they don't get picked off, because if they do that and they go behind, all of a sudden, all the fatigue that they felt, obviously playing with 10 men in the first game, a real difficult game against Switzerland, that all comes back to you very, very quickly. Stay in the game as long as you can, and then pick Hungary off at the end.
To get a bit emotional about it all, Hugh, or turn it into something romantic, Scotland will need heroes on a night like this to pull off something history-making. And who are the characters there? Who are the ones that you think can drag Steve Clarke's team over that line?
I think there are several in that team, Gordon, and it's very, very hard to take emotion away from everything that is going on today. I was thinking myself, I first saw Scotland play in 1962. That's 62 years ago. And I remember the qualification game when Joe Jordan scored against Czechoslovakia. We went to Germany in 74. I've lived through all the highs and lows. We've all been on the march with Ali's army, and we've all had a dream with John Gordon Sinclair, and it's never happened for us. But I honestly believe tonight in McGinn, of course, in McTominay, in McGregor, and in Gilmer, the subtlety in the act. They can provide for us, and McTominay is a persistent goal threat. And I'll give you my omen, Gordon. I attended a neighbourhood party this afternoon, drinking water only before anyone asks. And a lady came up and said, I've seen you walking about here. And somebody said, Hugh Keevins lives over there. I said, I'm Andy Robertson's auntie. How random is that? The Scotland captain's auntie meeting you.
I hope you're right. I hope it's a family affair, because I actually bumped into his parents last night.
It's a sign, Gordon. It's a sign.
Lovely people they are as well. So hopefully, do you know what though? I suppose to take something semi-serious from that, the knock-on effect of being over here, Mark, and what it means to the hundreds of thousands of fans, but then to the people that are close to it as well. That, the players themselves, obviously, their families are all here, their friends are all here. You then extend that to the goodness knows how many watching back home. It is genuinely hard to sort of sum up the feeling that surrounds all of this at the moment.
Well, we've spoke about it for the last 12 days, our players playing at the top level, and of course they've played in big games, FA Cup finals and Premier League winning teams and Champions League finals, but I very much doubt if they've played in a bigger occasion than what we've witnessed over here for the past 12 days. Families, the party that we were at with Andy Robertson's parents right at the beginning of it, you're meeting them in Stuttgart, and you're bumping into family members and friends closely of the squad. But then when you see the amount of supporters here, it is very unusual, even if you play at the biggest club, to get a reaction like you have done here in Germany. The players will know that, and it's all kind of led to this game where, you know, it's a straight shootout and the chance to make history. And you think of all the great players and great games that Hugh mentioned there, and those teams all failed to reach the knockout stage. I get the tournament's been reformatted, however, it's still an incredible opportunity that lies in front of the players to make history.
Before we let our adopted Scott go then, because he's actually going into the stadium. Some guys get all...
He's just got to stroll in there.
Some guys get all the luck.
5 minutes to go.
Honestly,
this is what sums you up. This is why you're late all the time.
I did it on Wednesday, I'm telling you guys. I get in for national anthem, everyone erupts. As I walk in, because it's me, and then I sit in my seat.
So you think this is early?
Oh, 100%.
Hugh Keevins, would you believe this guy?
No, not a word.
Honestly. You're going to be late, so we will let you go. Give us your final thoughts on tonight, what it means and how you think it will go.
How I hope it will go is Scotland win. I think that's what we're all hoping for. I wouldn't be surprised, as I said earlier, I think it's going to be an extremely tight game if it was to be a draw or Hungary to win. You know, I've been in the hotel with Adam Bogdan, someone who I played with, and he said that, you know, the Hungary players maybe were trying to run before they could walk against Switzerland. I think it was a baptism of fire for them. Then they went into the Germany game with a much better performance, but he said the camp is confident at this moment in time. I know it's going to be a tough game, but they do believe if they do turn up, they'll win it, and that's always a dangerous team. Scotland will feel exactly the same. It's going to be tight, Gordon. As I said, I'm kind of sitting on the fence, but I want Scotland to win this game of football, but I wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way.
What if former Hibs players know nothing? Thank you to Marvin Bartley. Enjoy your evening. He's going into the stadium. Strap yourselves in, because it is going to be a tense and exciting night, whatever happens. If you've been following our pundit predictor across the Euros, you will know we've had a big cash up for grabs. Last night, Lewis in Nielsen correctly predicted that Portugal and Belgium would win, and he's waiting on Germany as well. So if Germany win tonight against Switzerland, he's going to take home the £500.
Oh, that's not good for us. I thought we were playing.
Robert. So he was up against you, Mark Wilson, but you'd have been out because you predicted a Belgium draw.
Oh, did I really?
How can you predict a Belgium draw?
So good luck to Lewis. He's going to sit back and hope that Germany win, and the pundit predictor returns tomorrow night when you'll have the chance to predict the results in more games at the Euros, and there will be even more cash up for grabs, all thanks to Call Robert. We are back with even more build-up. It is getting closer. Scotland against Hungary is just around the corner, and you'll hear more from us live in Germany after these.
Hi, I'm John McGinn on Clyde 1. Hi, I'm Andrew Maclean. This is Clyde 1 Super Scoreboard.
This is Scotland versus Hungary.
The Duncan army go crazy!
Live from Stuttgart, this is Clyde 1 Super Scoreboard.
Sal's given her home a camouflage makeover. Lovely. She paid for it with a new Barclaycard Platinum credit card, so she'll pay no interest on purchases for up to 21 months, helping her spread her costs. Now she's found a way to pay for her makeover. Sadly, she can't find anything else. Where's my phone? Where's the door? What you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. Check if you're eligible at barclaycard.co.uk. Barclaycard. Make money work for you. Representative example. 24.9% APR representative variable. 24.9% purchase rate per annum variable based on £1,200 credit limit. Subject to application, financial circumstances and borrowing history. New customers only. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
As Claire entered the kitchen, the mere sight of Gary standing there engulfed her in a wave of excitement. Their eyes locked immediately, and she knew that in a matter of minutes, she'd be in for the steamiest night ever. Gary leaned in close, and Claire could feel his breath caress her skin as he softly whispered, "What would you prefer, love? Bird's Eye Steam Fresh vegetables, rice, or one of their new pasta meals?" The Bird's Eye Steam Fresh range. Goodness, that's steamy.
Meet Sage Copilot, your new AI productivity assistant, helping you add even more value to clients.
Copilot, create a 6-month forecast to share with my client.
So, if you're an accountant, like Charlotte, it could mean spending more time on what matters most, like more face-to-face meetings with clients.
Latte for you, Americano for me.
Ah, lovely.
Accountants could save 3 days a month on admin. Search Sage Copilot to get early access today. Sage, helping business flow.
Just over 30 minutes to go until kick-off here in Stuttgart. A huge night, a history-defining night for Scotland. Let's go back into the stadium because our reporter Andrew Maclean is there, Andrew, and I would imagine a game of this magnitude, the Scotland fans already will be filling the place and it will be bouncing.
Yeah, well, you've come to me at the right time because Freed from Desire has just come over the tannoy. The Scotland fans over to my left are dancing, they're throwing their hands in the air, they're waving their flags, and this is what it is all about. These fans have been having a great time over the past couple of weeks. I went into the huge Scotland fan zone at Stadplatz earlier on, 6 hours before kick-off. I was there and the place was absolutely packed. There was not a seat to be had anywhere. There was not a blade of grass left to sit on. 3 o'clock in the afternoon for a 9 o'clock kick-off over here in Germany. It shows the anticipation. It shows how much people are enjoying themselves in the sun. Yes, I think a few people are flagging because they've been out here for a couple of weeks and have had a bit of a heavy time of it, but they're reserving their seats for this game that you just cannot miss, and they're in full voice at the moment, and it's just going to get louder and louder and louder in here. It's being dominated, the noise, by Scotland fans at the moment. I'm sure Hungary will respond at some point. They'll try to, but they cannot match the noise that's being made by this Scotland support at the moment.
And of course everyone's got their own story. Some have travelled far, some not so far, but I'll tell you what, we've got a special journey from a Scotland fan who's in here at the moment. Johnny is from Bellshill, but you've come from Melbourne. Yes?
Melbourne, Australia, yes.
Unbelievable. All this way. And is it worth it?
Absolutely.
It'll be even more worth it if it goes to plan tonight.
Absolutely. For sure.
What are you thinking tonight then? How confident or otherwise are you?
I'm very, very confident because I don't think Scotland will ever have a better chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Hungarians have got nothing to play for, really. And Scotland have got everything to play for, so go for it.
What is it that makes you make that journey then? You know, is it one of those, as soon as they qualified, did you know you were always going to try, or?
Yes, yeah, I mean, it was booked up. We're here in a camper van, so we've travelled all the way from Australia over to Glasgow, and then we jumped in the camper van, travelled all the way.
You thought you drove from Melbourne, didn't you?
I was thinking Melbourne, a camper van.
But still, just when you think you've done enough travelling on the flight, he goes and jumps in a camper van and drives over. You just like travelling.
Absolutely.
Superb. What are you thinking specifically about, you know, the way the tournament's gone from obviously the very low of Munich, picked back up a bit against Switzerland? Do you feel like that's a kind of upwards trajectory the team's on?
It's a launching pad for them, for sure.
Who are the guys we should be hanging our hopes on tonight?
I would say McTominay, McGinn. I think McGinn really needs to show up because in the last two games he's not been that great. You know what I mean? And the fans really are hanging their hat on him. And, you know, he's got to deliver.
Yeah, he's an interesting one because even the biggest John McGinn fans, Gordon Dalziel, Mark Wilson would accept he's been not at his usual standards in the last 2 games. But he's also got way more than enough goodwill in Steve Clarke's tank and everyone else's tank that he was always going to play tonight. You know, we were never at that stage, were we?
Yeah, nobody was at their best against Germany. Let's put that out there. He didn't have the best game against Switzerland. He obviously ended up getting substituted. We had maybe one caller coming on saying they would leave him out. You could never leave John McGinn out in a game like this. He's too big a player, he's too important. I totally agree. I think he needs to step up tonight. Has he got that in his locker? 100%. He's got the ability, he's got the character, he brings so much to the team. So I totally agree. I'm looking for a big performance, and so will John McGinn.
Where John McGinn's been disappointed is he's never really been involved in the games. He's had very few touches and made a little happen. And we're used to seeing John McGinn in a Scotland shirt make things happen. You know, even if that's winning his fouls higher up the pitch or scoring goals. But I think a lot of the good stuff that Steve Clarke will see in him is off the ball, and he's still so important to us off the ball. The way he'll press, the way he'll block passing lanes. That's why for me he was never going to be left out. And then of course when you flip that, he's due a good game on the ball. It's up to the others round about him to get him involved in the game. He can't just go and make it happen. He's not Messi who'll go back to the 18-yard box and pick up the ball and dribble past everybody. He needs to be brought into the game. If we do that tonight and get him on the ball, he can certainly perform for us.
And of course the other name, Johnny, you mentioned is Scott McTominay. Just how important has he been in the last couple of years really, and in particular this tournament as well?
Yes, for sure. But I'm going to throw in a name here, and it's James Forrest. You know, I'm really looking forward to him to come in.
You roll
here.
off the bench?
Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? And just turn on a bit of magic, even if it's only for 20 minutes, half an hour. Get him on, for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine us using the same limited number of attacking options tonight as we have in the past, because when you get to Cape 3 everyone's even more tired. So if you see Shankland again, it will probably be earlier. Maybe, you know, the sort of must-win nature of it, or certainly try and win nature of it, you're looking at, you know, maybe it is a James Forrest later on, maybe it's a Lewis Morgan, a Tommy Conway, maybe tonight you see something that you haven't seen before, because those first two games can be about keeping yourself in with a chance, but tonight's about prolonging your stay in the tournament.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest job Steve Clarke will have. This is the biggest job he'll have tonight. Tactically knowing when to change it, how to change it, how to change a game if he has to go chasing, how to change a game if he has to defend a lead. So I would say that there'll be a lot more substitutions used tonight. He's got good options on the bench. James Forrest is one, gives us the pace. Everybody's crying out for Shankland. Christie can come on, give us energy. He loves bringing on Kenny McLean. We've seen it so many times. So he definitely has got options to change the game.
Depends on the flow of the game and how it goes, though. You know, if we get an early goal and it's 1-0 and we're going into the closing stages, I wonder if Steve Clarke, he's so trustworthy of his team, his starting selection, that he might just ride that out. And yes, legs will be tired. There's always a fear if he changes something too quickly when we're in a positive position that backfires. But I get the point that if it is in the balance and it is, you know, the games are dragging into it, or we're behind, Forrest, Armstrong, Christie, Shankland, guys like that, we'd like to see them involved.
Johnny, we hope you enjoy your night. An unbelievable effort from you to get from Melbourne to Glasgow and then back out here, so you above all deserve it for that trip. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Good man, brilliant to hear. And that sums it up, Mark, the effort people are going to get here. The thing is, let's not pretend, of course other nations will have those stories as well, I'm sure, but the level of commitment that's been shown, it would be so fitting if the team could repay that this evening.
But that's what we need. That's the next level. You know, getting a win at a major tournament that actual progresses us, and just, you know, a real payoff for these supporters who've put so much time and effort, and even the ones that have travelled from Glasgow and Edinburgh and scrimped and scraped to get here. Takes something special, but you could actually write a book, you know, a compilation of all the different journeys and all the different routes people have taken and stories to get here. It really is something special. And you know what, it's something you always hear about the Tartan Army, but until you're here, until you're in it, it's something that you maybe don't appreciate a lot. And interestingly enough, the Scotland team chose to stay right in the middle of the city centre. They only had to look out their window to see
me.
You just inside, but all the thousands of people pouring out that train station, I think that adds a wee bit extra when you look out and you see, you know, what it means to so many.
For what it's worth, I don't think they chose there. I think UEFA picked that hotel in advance, and maybe the Scotland players were a bit shocked at how central
I certainly would be as well.
I walked past this morning and it was incredible, though. The fans were all outside, and Andy Robertson was just kind of casually hanging out his bedroom window, just having a look at what was going on, and you could see him quite clearly sticking his head out the window. The team planned to go a walk like they always do, but they couldn't because there were too many fans today. I believe they went for a very, very short walk, pretty much in like the courtyard behind the hotel. So it's been that type of day. It's been crazy here in Stuttgart. And there, Hugh Keevins, you thought you showed good commitment coming down from Bearsden, honestly.
Yes, well, let me tell you, in leafy Bearsden there are flags everywhere, and there's a feeling about the entire city, the entire country, that makes today very special. As I said, you know, having watched all of the highs, the expected highs, which turned into the belated lows down through the decades, I honestly believe that this is the day it changes. I really do think that the moment has come, and that Steve Clarke, John Carver, the players, McTominay, McGinn, McGregor, I do believe that the day has come and that they will seize their moment. Maybe you could all laugh and say the world's worst predictor has just cursed the whole thing, but I just feel there's something in the air, and it's going to be Scotland's night.
I'm going to leave off you tonight because I hope you are correct. And Hugh's talking about the mood back home in Scotland. Of course, we are here in Stuttgart, but there are fan zones right across Scotland getting ready for the game. Let's go round them. Let's get a flavour of what it's like back home. We're going to start up north in Aberdeen with Dave Galloway.
Cheers, guys. I'm here at OGV Podium in Aberdeen City Centre. Now, this place has been the scene of a number of great occasions over the years, and hopefully tonight will be another one. Tartan Army soldiers are converging on the place in big numbers, and amongst the fans I've spoken to so far, there's high optimism, but also high amounts of tension and nerves in the build-up to what's effectively a cup final, with it being win or bust for Scotland's hopes of making history. Now, the venue owners say they're committed to providing engaging and meaningful entertainment. Well, I'd say stand by for plenty drama this evening, because we never do things the easy way, do we? Let's head to Edinburgh now, where Gavin Pearson is at Easter Road. Gav.
Nice one, Dave. How special was that rendition of Flower of Scotland on Wednesday night in Cologne? We did the same here at Easter Road at the Hibernian Scotland fan zone, and we'll do the same tonight, I'm sure, as well. We'll get little hairs in the back of the neck. One enforced change, of course, at the back with Tierney injured. Liam is here as a Scotland fan. Would you have liked to have seen anything else changed?
Aye, two strikers. Rather than bringing McKenna into the team for Tierney, put Shankland in, even though he's a Hearts guy. I'd take him up front with Che Adams. Let Che Adams do the donkey work. Shankland put the ball in it. I
love this. You need a whiteboard to demonstrate your formation ideas on this one. But we obviously know what the team's going to be. Are we going to be happy at full time?
6 now. Gone for a second.
Okay, how many tenants are you in now?
Too many.
Well, listen, let's hope that's happening. We're dead optimistic here at Easter Road, it would seem. Are they just as optimistic at East End Park? Let's find out with Ewan Cameron.
Thanks so much, Gav. Yes, we're here at East End Park, the Dunfermline City fan zone, ahead of the big one, Scotland versus Hungary. Will history be made tonight? Steve Cowan, former Hibs and Aberdeen striker.
Well, I think so. I think we did well in the Switzerland game. I think we'll carry it forward, and I'm expecting us to win 2-1.
2-1. Steve Cowan believes we'll be through tonight into the knockout stages for the first time in our history. It's back to you boys in Stuttgart, ahead of the big one, Scotland versus Hungary.
All across this city, Mark Wilson, we cannot move for Scotland fans who are excited about this tonight, and hearing from the guys back home as well, it sounds like it's the same case. Hugh's talking about Glasgow in the west. We've been to Aberdeen, Edinburgh, Dunfermline. This means a lot tonight.
Well, no doubt. Sometimes when you're away from home you feel a bit detached, so it's nice to hear that everybody is in it along with us here and the thousands that have travelled here. But it means so much. We are a football nation. We love our football, and we've had very little to cheer about. Let's hope it's tonight.
We are very, very close to kick-off. We will go back to the Stuttgart Arena after these.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard, live from Germany with UK Debt Experts, the national team helping you tackle your debt. May not be suitable for all. Fees and disadvantages may apply. Free advice at moneyhelper.org.uk. Live from Germany with UK Debt Experts, the national team helping you tackle your debt. May not be suitable for all. Fees and disadvantages may apply. Free advice at moneyhelper.org.uk.
Oh, what a time we've had in Germany. We've been live here throughout the group stages thanks to UK Debt Expert. They're part of the Credit Fix group, and they've been on the go since 2007. So think about it in Scotland terms. When James McFadden was smashing one in France, they were getting down to business, helping people who are struggling with debt they can't control. If you need help, talk to UK Debt Expert. There is a solution for you, and you can find out more at ukdebtexpert.co.uk. What did we do well on the pitch, Gordon Dalziel and Mark Wilson, on Wednesday, or whatever day it was, because I'm starting to lose track, and what needs to be better?
I thought we pressed well. I thought we passed the ball a lot better, Gordon. I thought the pace of the game was better. Our lines were better in the fact of the back three, because against Germany I thought we pushed up far too far and all of a sudden left a lot of space in behind. We didn't do that against the Swiss. We didn't allow them to get in behind us all the time. To do better, I would like to see us do better in the final third. I don't think we've created enough chances yet. You know, we've got very good football players in the middle of the park. Thought Andy Robertson getting up and down that left-hand side, especially second half. Ralston does his fair shift as well. I would just like to see a little bit more quality in the final third for me.
Well, we started the game well, didn't we? I thought we had to do that against Switzerland, start on the front foot, and you quite clearly seen from early on, as soon as kick-off came, we played the ball forward and we squeezed the game up the pitch, and we get some corners and throw-ins, and that set the tone for the game. The Swiss then knew that we were going to try and play that game in their half in the opening stages. Against Germany, we just sat back and let the Germans do that to us. Tonight, I would like to see the same. What can we do better? I agree with Daz, if we could be a wee bit more creative. Which team wouldn't want that? But I tend to look at it from a defensive point of view. I thought as the game wore on the other night, our wing backs got exposed. I thought Jack Henry could help Ralston. I thought McKenna at times and Tierney could help Robertson a wee bit more, and Marvin touched on it earlier. That relationship between Henry and Ralston and McKenna and Robertson's going to be huge, because they will try and stretch you, they will try and then get runners through the middle of you also, so the relationship between the back three and the wing backs is going to be crucial this evening.
Yeah, I agree with that. The most important thing we've got to do, and I think it was different the other night, we're good when we're a team, a unit, and everybody works together. You've seen that the other night there. Everybody knew their job, they were passionate, the effort, the commitment. We've not got the best players in this tournament, but we've got a terrific team spirit. We've got a terrific guys that can go and just work as a unit, and if they're all singing from the same hymn sheet, we're a hard team to beat and we're a good team. But if we don't, like we did against Germany, then they can pick us off easily. How we start the game tonight, and I know that's the old cliche, start the game well, the first 20 minutes, that is so important.
And composure, sorry Gordon, I was just going to say, composure is going to be key as well. With those four in there, we've got wonderful players in that midfield area, and the real strength of their game is in possession and how they take care of the ball. That is going to be crucial. There is going to be huge pressure on these players' shoulders, and this is where you really find who can step up to the next level. When the pressure's on your shoulders, when there's a crowd like there's going to be tonight, never mind the Tartan Army, the Hungarian supporters make a lot of noise as well. Can you take the ball in tight situations? Can you keep it? Can you work us up the pitch? That's going to be huge in the game this evening. If we do that right, we'll be on the right track.
Yeah, Hugh, the bits that you can't measure and you can't be sure of in terms of mentality and attitude and belief and bravery, you just wonder how important that stuff is, and what the last couple of days have been like. Can you harness the relative positivity from the Switzerland game? Can you make sure they're not overawed like perhaps some of them were against Germany? Can we make sure that everyone comes out and leaves absolutely everything out there?
My mind keeps going to the manager, Steve Clark. And what do you say in the dressing room? The Gordon Dalziel has had to deliver messages of that nature in big matches at Hampden or other places, Celtic Park, Ibrox, whatever. And the players, do they take the messages in? We've gone on about Flower of Scotland. To hear that, and it will be cranked up another notch tonight, I'm absolutely sure. Those players have to close their eyes and understand that this is an entire country. A country who are willing them to win this match. It's a terrible burden to bear, but pressure, as they say in football, is a privilege. And if they can rise to the pressure, rise to the occasion, and get the win that takes them into the last 16, they can come home knowing that they can say, we achieved what no team before us wearing Scotland jerseys were able to achieve in 70 years. That's the incentive. How Steve Clark gets that across to the players, I wish him well.
Game management, Mark, how important is that going to be then? You mentioned not getting too tetchy early on. Yes, there's a feeling that we kind of have to win it. There's a bizarre potential safety net where you don't need to win it. So making sure you're managing your way through the game properly, how important is that on a night like this?
It's going to be absolutely crucial, and I think we've got the right man in charge of us for that. Steve Clark's not one to stray from what he believes in and his principles, and it's what's got us to this stage. I get everybody wants to play attacking, free-flowing football that's good in the eye, but I don't think Steve Clark's like that. He's about keeping in the game, and he'll understand. The players will understand, because of the message put across, that there will be times that we have to surrender the ball, and there'll be maybe long periods that we don't have it. It's just international football at the top level, but it's about how compact you are, and letting them play wide. And I thought against the Swiss we got that right more often than not. Sometimes they cut us open, but I think we got it right. We were more compact. Tonight's going to be the same. When you don't have the ball, be nice and compact, minimise the space between the lines and make it really difficult for them to play through you. And then when you win the ball, it's how brave you are, how you connect the passes and how you work your way up the pitch. That's going to be crucial, how we manage that side of the game.
And I suppose with that, Gordon, comes that if the start isn't ideal and if things don't go your way, you're not rattled by that and you realise you've got time to try and fix things.
And I think that goes back to what Hugh was saying about Steve Clark in the dressing room. If I was Steve Clark, I'd be saying to the players, don't play the occasion, go play to the game plan. They'll have a game plan, there's no doubt about that. Steve Clark will have worked this game out, so you've got to play to that. These guys are going to come out here and they're going to sample this atmosphere and it's going to be through the roof, Gordon. Of that there's no doubt. So they've got to make sure they embrace it. Of course they've got to embrace it, but when that whistle goes, there's a game plan that Steve Clark and his coaching staff have set out. They've got to go to that.
And I suppose, Mark, again, this stuff's all relevant in any game, but when you get to this sort of shootout thing in the international tournaments, they just become more severe. These fine margins, making sure that if there is a big save to be made, Angus Gunn's there to make it. If there is a mistake by Hungary, you're there to capitalise on it. In a game like this, you don't have time to hope that it comes around the next time, really.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee that will happen. We can only hope that these players who've been selected and represented so well over the past 18 months can really peak tonight and take us through. And then if we get through, then we'll deal with that when it falls. But it's a night for big performances, Gordon. These players are playing at top clubs in games that are so competitive and fighting for trophies all over different leagues around the world. But tonight is a night where we hope it all comes together and they perform to their peak and take us to the next level.
It's a mixed bag here. We're in the shadow of the stadium, and actually for the first time on game day during these shows, it's a bit of a split. Quite a lot of Hungary fans in here. You better be on your best behaviour. Gordon Dalziel, some Scotland fans in here as well, and more importantly, we're going to go back to the stadium because showtime is next.
Live from Stuttgart, this is Clyde One Super Scoreboard. The Clyde One Super Scoreboard podcast.
With Lucas Jaguar. Looking to sell your Jaguar? Contact them today for a no-obligation quotation.
Sal's given her home a camouflage makeover. Lovely. She paid for it with a new Barclaycard Platinum credit card, so she'll pay no interest on purchases for up to 21 months, helping her spread her costs. Now she's found a way to pay for her makeover. Sadly, she can't find anything else. Where's my phone? Where's the door? What you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. Check if you're eligible at barclaycard.co.uk. Barclaycard. Make money work for you. Representative example. 24.9% APR representative variable. 24.9% purchase rate per annum variable based on £1,200 credit limit. Subject to application, financial circumstances and borrowing history. New customers only. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
As Claire entered the kitchen, the mere sight of Gary standing there engulfed her in a wave of excitement. Their eyes locked immediately, and she knew that in a matter of minutes, she'd be in for the steamiest night ever. Gary leaned in close, and Claire could feel his breath caress her skin as he softly whispered, "What would you prefer, love? Bird's Eye Steam Fresh vegetables, rice, or one of their new pasta meals?" The Bird's Eye Steam Fresh range. Goodness, that's steamy.
Sal's given her home a camouflage makeover. Lovely. She paid for it with a new Barclaycard Platinum credit card, so she'll pay no interest on purchases for up to 21 months, helping her spread her costs. Now she's found a way to pay for her makeover. Sadly, she can't find anything else. Where's my phone? Where's the door? What you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. Check if you're eligible at barclaycard.co.uk. Barclaycard. Make money work for you. Representative example. 24.9% APR representative variable. 24.9% purchase rate per annum variable based on £1,200 credit limit. Subject to application, financial circumstances and borrowing history. New customers only. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
I love history podcasts. I was listening to one about the suffrage movement and it got me thinking about my great nan. With Ancestry, we discovered she'd been arrested and imprisoned with other suffragettes. They've got her voting records and even examples of her protesting on the census. It made my family so proud.
Bring your backstory to life. Get a free 2-week trial of a full membership at ancestry.co.uk. Renews automatically from $10.99 per month unless cancelled.
The Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast.
With Lucas Volvo. Looking to sell your Volvo? Contact them today for a no-obligation quotation.
Live from Stuttgart, this is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
What a huge night we have in store in Stuttgart. We are here live on Clyde One Super Scoreboard, so without further ado, let's cross just over the road. We're going to go into the stadium and build up to kick-off with Andrew Maclean.
Yeah, the Scotland team led out by Andy Robertson. 73 Scotland caps, none more important than this. Steve Clarke, 58 games in charge of the national side, none more important than this. We'll go to the national anthem, starting with Hungary. Well, many people said that the national anthem for Scotland on Wednesday night in Cologne could not be topped. And I tell you what, I think it may well be about to be topped. The Scotland fans are poised, they are ready in this stadium, and they are ready to inspire the 11 on the pitch, the substitutes, the staff, and the whole nation. How do you follow that? There are tears in the eyes of people around me. The rendition of O Flower of Scotland, that could be one of the most special ever because of what is about to follow. No matter where you are, in a pub, in your living room, in your car, that was a chorus, a rendition that will absolutely take your breath away. And now it is time for the football. Kenny Dalglish, Dennis Law, Jim Leighton, Alex McLeish, the list goes on of Scotland greats, players who did their country proud, who inspired supporters, but none of them have got through to the knockout stages of a major tournament. We've been close. We've come down to the final game a good few times, but not managed to get it over the line. After the Germany game, it looked as if we may be down and out by the time this game came around. But that spirited display on Wednesday means there is hope. There's opportunity. There's a chance for these players to write their names in the history books. John McGinn saying yesterday, it's not pressure they feel coming into this game. It's anticipation. It's a sense of occasion. You could sense the passion on Wednesday night. You could feel the passion running through your body when that national anthem was being sung there. That needs to continue tonight. So much talk about history, so much talk about legendary status. It all started before the tournament even began. But this could be a game, this could be a night, a tale that is passed down through generations and generations of Scotland fans. People will say, I was there in the Stuttgart Arena, I was there in the fan zones in Stuttgart, I was there in Germany, I shared the moment with friends, I shared the moment with family of mine as well. This could be the performance that takes Scotland to that next level. This is their moment, this is their time. The players are on the pitch, they are ready to go. Steve Clarke is standing at the edge of his technical area, looking as calm as ever, hands clasped behind his back, watching on, waiting, because this is big. It doesn't get much bigger than this for the Scottish national team. It's their moment. Can Scotland seize it? We are ready to go in Stuttgart.
How exciting is it to play the British Heart Foundation's Weekly Flutter? Ka-ching! Exciting enough to get your heart racing. Just a little bit. Like texting a mate. The same time they text you. Like flipping pancakes with majestic grace. Or spotting that last parking space. Yes! With the added joy of knowing the money you donate helps to fund life-saving research. £1 to play, £1,000 to win every week. Search British Heart Foundation Weekly Lottery. See? It's a little bit exciting.
Gamble responsibly. Over 18s only. T's and C's apply. Please see our website for more details. British Heart Foundation is a registered charity.
I love history podcasts. I was listening to one about the suffrage movement, and it got me thinking about my great nan. With Ancestry, we discovered she'd been arrested and imprisoned with other suffragettes. They've got her voting records and even examples of her protesting on the census. It made my family so proud.
Bring your backstory to life. Get a free 2-week trial of a full membership at ancestry.co.uk. Renews automatically from $10.99 per month unless cancelled.
Sal's given her home a camouflage makeover. Lovely. She paid for it with a new Barclaycard Platinum credit card, so she'll pay no interest on purchases for up to 21 months, helping her spread her costs. Now she's found a way to pay for her makeover. Sadly, she can't find anything else. Where's my phone? Where's the door? What you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. Check if you're eligible at barclaycard.co.uk. Barclaycard. Make money work for you. Representative example. 24.9% APR representative variable. 24.9% purchase rate per annum variable based on £1,200 credit limit. Subject to application, financial circumstances and borrowing history. New customers only. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
As Claire entered the kitchen, the mere sight of Gary standing there engulfed her in a wave of excitement. Their eyes locked immediately, and she knew that in a matter of minutes, she'd be in for the steamiest night ever. Gary leaned in close, and Claire could feel his breath caress her skin as he softly whispered, "What would you prefer, love? Bird's Eye Steam Fresh vegetables, rice, or one of their new pasta meals?" The Bird's Eye Steam Fresh range. Goodness, that's steamy.
Wilson, the stage is set. Years and years of talking about moments like this, and it all comes down to 90 simple minutes on the pitch. Can Steve Clarke's team deliver? Can they become heroes? Can they make history? We're about to find out.
Well, I believe they can. I believe everything has been building to this moment, and you touched on it the other night. If you looked for an opportunity to get to the last 16 of a major tournament and Hungary were standing in front of you, would you take that? Yes, you would. I believe we've got the players to rise to the occasion, and we'll get the job done one way or another tonight.
Yeah, it's a massive night for everyone concerned with Scotland, manager, players, supporters. You heard that national anthem again. Those players must get some lift from that, Gordon. But now it's all about calm heads. Go out and stick to the game plan that they've worked on probably for the last few days, and hopefully with a little bit of luck as well, because you're going to need that, things can go our way.
Even a cynic like yourself, Hugh Keevins, and someone who's seen it all before, must be moved by this occasion.
Yeah, the whole day I've felt the same way. And just watching everyone around me, men, women, children, and what it means to them. My only concern for you right away, Gordon, the referee looks like one of these guys who it's about me, not the occasion. He's ordered the retake of the kickoff. I have my doubts about him.
I have to say,
it went early.
Although I have to say, I think he's bang on, because I noticed it straight away. There was a Hungary player about 20 yards in our half when kickoff was taken. It wasn't just 1 or 2 steps, Mark. He started his run ludicrously early. Not really something I've seen before, I have to say, at this level of football.
They were trying to obviously overload this right hand side of Scotland's and get as many bodies forward as they can, but I disagree with you. The referee's efficient. He's going to be right on top of this Hungarian side, and he'll do his okay tonight.
Well, it's an early period of very calm, very patient possession from Scotland at the back, Gordon. That tells you that Hungary are not going to come and squeeze the life out of them, maybe waiting for it to go to a certain player, and as it does come to Andy Robertson, they try and put on a bit of a squeeze. And I guess this is where Scotland have to be brave and just try and negotiate the chess match, if you like.
Yeah, but I think that's good for us, because it gives all the players, especially at the back, a touch of the ball, a feel of the ball, settle down. They're getting plenty of time to get their head up, play simple passes. You're right, Hungary are just sitting off the game and say to Scotland, we're not going to press you high, we're not going to leave space in behind, which allows us to get the ball into Billy Gilmore. We keep talking about how good he is in the ball, so I think this is positive so far, and it's a controlled start from Scotland.
Is it okay to admit that I'm very nervous, Mark Wilson, as you probably expected me to be? How are you two feeling?
Actually, you've been more calmer than I thought you would be during this tournament. Yeah, and you must be hiding it well, because you're usually, wherever we are, banging the tables or, throwing your fists about.
I don't feel calm right now, I have to say.
Right, okay. Well, you've disguised it well, Gordon, but I think we're all got those pre-match nerves, and you think what the players have got probably the easiest job. When they go over the white line, all those nerves just evaporate and they just get on with the job.
John McGinn doing what John McGinn does and drawing free kicks from people trying to get round his big backside. So it's a free kick that Billy Gilmore puts in, and Grant Hanley, I think it's a clash of heads. He's actually been penalised for a foul as well. So kind of stop-start nature to this one. The big centre-back went up. Gordon, he just showed his marker a bit too much attention, and the referee didn't like it. We're getting another look at it.
Yeah, but it's positive. We get the ball into their box. We're on the front foot just now. It is a free kick of that, there's no doubt. But I think that Scotland are just having a look what they're going to do. Are they going to press from the front? Are they going to go high? I think they are. I think they're going to try and squeeze Hungary in, make them kick the ball long, and then try and pick up the second balls.
But it worked okay for us the other night when we did that at times. The Swiss, I think, technically are better than this Hungary team. And, sometimes we got caught out the other night pressing a bit high and then we got picked off. Hungary are a good side, but I'm not too sure if we press them really high if they'll be able to string 6 passes that will just open us up and we'll be in real trouble. So I would like to see us what I just witnessed there. Adams going after the goalkeeper, making them kick it long and playing to our strengths. We've got a big back three there. Any long balls, that's their game. McKenna, Hanley and Henry, they love that sort of stuff. So
I'm quite surprised with the start, Mark. I thought that both teams would have come out and tried to really go on the front foot, tried to dominate the possession as well. Hungary just seem to be dropping off, letting Scotland back guys just knock the ball about, play it very casually. So it's a very slow start to a very important game.
That might give you less heart and mouth moments early on, but I do wonder if Hungary have done a bit of homework and realised that there have been games in recent times where Scotland trying to break teams down that sit back hasn't gone particularly well, Mark Wilson.
Yeah, well, in the friendlies just before,
you think Finland, I think Northern Ireland.
Yeah, it was hard. It was turgid stuff sometimes to watch. Scotland struggled at that time. Look, Hungary are certainly trying to block off Scotland's danger player, those midfielders, McGregor and Gilmore, McTominay, and they're allowing the ball to go to the back three, they're allowing it to go to the wing backs, and it's just coming out. But I don't mind this from Scotland. I don't mind them keeping possession and being patient and just waiting for their opportunity, but every now and then you're going to need a runner to try and break the lines. If that's Ralston getting in behind, or Robertson getting in, or McGinn spinning and getting in behind, you need a forward pass sometime.
Because that's the thing, Gordon, as we look for one over the top for Robertson, that's easily cut out. It's maybe the bit that this Scotland team does struggle with. We don't really have a dribbler or someone who's going to eliminate loads of players. So it's going to need to be measured and near perfect, because Hungary do look well drilled. They're doing this on purpose. It's not like Scotland are this unbelievable possession machine that they can't get the ball off. They're letting us have it.
Yeah, Hungary have definitely got that game plan, but this is where I think that Tierney would be such a massive miss, because playing from the back with that, Tierney will get into the middle of the park, he'll go and link up with Robertson, he'll go and commit. Our back three tend to like to just sit there and play safe and let Gilmore pick the ball up, let McGregor pick the ball up. We need somebody to break from the back, because they're quite happy to give our back three the ball. Mark's right, they're allowing us to go down the flank if we want, but the minute we begin the middle where our danger men are, they're very tight to us.
I tell you what, Mark, we assume it is deliberate, of course it will be. They must have real faith in what they're doing, because like we said, they really need to win this game, and they need to win it comfortably, probably. But, although I won't get too confused by goal difference permutations. So it's extremely patient from them under those circumstances.
It is, but again, similar to us, they don't want to lose the game early on, by going all out attack and leaving holes.
So a free kick for Scotland. Scott McTominay upended in the middle of the pitch. A very late challenge, I have to say, on the Manchester United midfielder, Scotland's main man in a goal-scoring sense in recent times.
I think the lads just letting them know.
Absolutely.
We've seen what you produced the other night, so we're going to be very tight to you. We're going to watch you. But another free kick from this sort of a long distance. We tend to just play these high balls
That's
in there.
Safe, aren't they?
Yeah.
We go against Germany though, didn't we? By doing similar.
Bit lucky. Giving us that one.
Look, you've got to make teams defend their box, and that's an opportunity here.
Okay, Andy Robertson is going to swing this one in. It's an extremely high line from Hungary, so it's going to need to be special, and it's not. It just gets cut out by one of the front defenders. I feel like the set pieces from that area have been difficult over the tournament so far.
I'm not a fan of that, Gordon, but what I do like is they pick up the second ball.
Yeah, Anthony Ralston thinks with no chance. It just wouldn't quite come over the defender's head. Shea Adams was lurking. I think and this is where Scotland have to be careful. For the first time there's a counter-attack on, but it's excellent. I think it's the skipper that comes across, or is it? Yes, it is indeed. But now Scotland have got a bit of a problem over here. Hungary are going to strike one from range. Angus Gunn makes a bit heavy weather of it, saves it in the end, and headed back to him by the captain.
Yeah, that's the danger of Hungary. They just wait it for us, and then they hit us in the counter. It's a long distance shot. It bounces in front of goal. He wasn't 100% confident, but listen, it's all about keeping the ball out of the net, and he achieved that.
Bit of a warning sign, Hugh Keevins.
Yeah, I mean, we know Angus Gunn has had good and bad in this tournament. Bad against Germany, good against Switzerland, and perhaps a sign of tension where the goalkeeper's concerned. There's a terrible burden on the shoulders of everyone playing for Scotland, and he could have done better, but it didn't go in.
It did bounce in front of him, Mark. I think it did look a bit awkward when we saw it back.
Yeah, it certainly did, and does, right. It's all about keeping the ball out the net there. But a warning sign that they're decent at breaking.
Brilliant from Billy Gilmore. Sees those little reverse passes that I'm not sure many others do, and it allows Scotland just to open the pitch up a bit. He's trying to come through the middle, and Scotland, it's good possession. They're getting in good territory here, just trying to carve out an early chance with just under 9 minutes on the clock here in Stuttgart. So much of the ball, like we said, though, is most certainly deliberate from the Hungarians, because you could see their one chance to try and counter. They leapt upon it and they got a shot away at Angus Gunn, which is more than we've managed despite all that possession.
I think Steve Clarke will be quite happy with the way the game's going so far. We've got players that can play nice passes. Can we find that killer pass that just can open up their defence?
Billy Gilmore took a chance and lost it, but Callum McGregor manages to bail him out on this occasion. You can see Jack Hendry just trying to look for a bit more movement from Shea Adams. When it does go into feet, it needs to be immaculate, because Hungary are so well drilled and it wasn't on that occasion, so it goes all the way back to an area that Grant Hanley has to chase it into.
Well, the game's very condensed when you look at it in possession. You know, the Hungarian side very narrow, very close together. Scotland struggling. If you look at where Gilmore and McGregor receiving it, Shea Adams probably only about 10 yards in front of them. So exactly what Hungary want. We just need to find a wee spark, a wee bit of creativity. Like I said before, a runner off the ball, not even carrying the ball, just to stretch them a bit.
As McKenna's trying to go.
I was going to say we need to be careful about it, because Scott McKenna is not Kieran Tierney, will never be Kieran Tierney. Even if Scott McKenna excels at his own game, he still won't be Kieran Tierney. So we're seeing a little limitation there, aren't we, or a difference from what usually happened. That he got the ball in Kieran Tierney's position and didn't quite drive forward the way Kieran Tierney would, which is understandable.
Yeah, I totally get that, and it's probably not his game, Gordon. Tierney is absolutely brilliant at it, and he links up great, and you hear Steve Clark talking about the partnership with Robertson and obviously McGregor in the middle of the park. But if you're going to go forward, you need to go with a purpose. You need to be positive for me.
So we've passed the 10-minute mark, and it's been very controlled from Scotland, really controlled possession. But can they create a chance? Can they get an opening? That's the next. That'll be another. Oh, surely not. Referee has penalised Jack Hendry, and do you know what? We thought he was doing Hugh Keevins things, but I think he might be right. This referee is a bit of a showman. They can see the way Hugh Keevins. I'm not even sure that was a foul by Jack Hendry, and his reaction to it. The referee.
He's a wrong'un.
You called it quickly, Hugh.
I told you, Daz. He's got
on the ball, son.
Well, look at someone who is full of their own self-importance.
I know a few of them, Hugh Keevins. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
But he was.
Were you looking in the mirror?
Oh, come on. That's rich coming from you, I have to say.
You were aiming at me.
Never. He must have a guilty conscience. The referee was a bit aggressive with Jack Hendry for what was not even a foul.
Cal McGregor off here did changing his boots, and we don't want to be down to 10 men for too long. He obviously feels he's not got the right footwear on at the minute.
I have to say, it's a particularly lengthy boot change.
Yeah. Struggling to tie his laces.
Too nervous to tie his laces quickly.
There's the difference, the distance of the back three there. The ball goes over them and there's no space, and Gunn comes out, collects it comfortably. I'm very positive with that, if they can keep that line.
I suppose this, Mark, does become then what we said earlier about the mental side of it. We're 12 minutes in, we've got a decent sample. We know they're going to let us keep the ball, and we know that we can keep it. Do you become demoralised if you keep doing this and really don't create anything? You wonder if that's part of the Hungarians thinking, because there we've gone long and it doesn't come to anything.
Yeah, well, it's important that we don't get frustrated. I made that point before the game, that even the Tartan Army and the stadium, it's important that they don't start getting a bit tetchy with us. Sometimes you just need to try and wear the opposition down, and maybe that's just what we'll have to do tonight. Be patient, keep possession, and hope that they switch off. And when they do switch off, we get a runner and we get the correct pass and we get a reward.
Because you can see what they're trying, Gordon. They go long. It's Grant Hanley against a striker, and with the best will in the world, it might just bounce off Hungary's way. That's what they're sort of hoping for. They tried to get someone in behind.
Yeah, they're going, when they get the ball, they're looking to try and get in behind us, Gordon, especially down the wide areas as well. I've got to, there you go again, try to get in behind the wide, Ralston in the right hand side there, but ball runs out. I think once again, good distances, good communication between the back guys. I look at this Hungary team and I'm thinking, if I was a Hungary supporter, I'd be very disappointed in their start. They've got to win the game, they've got to win it by goals. They'll never do that. It looks like they're just trying to frustrate Scotland and then hit them in the counter. So we've got to be careful.
Strangely, Steve Clark doesn't look that happy. I know you could say he never does. He's barking instructions at Jack Hendry as he comes over to take a throw, and very, very vociferous in whatever it was he was telling them. And I'll tell you, the Scotland fans are not getting it their own way either, because the Hungary fans are a noisy bunch. They are causing some amount of racket inside that stadium.
Well, and outside the stadium as well. Daz and I were walking through the park and there was plenty of Hungarian fan zones in there. Yeah,
I was a bit worried for you too, because we decided to walk the hour from the hotel down here today through the park, because I did it 2 days ago and I said it was great, it was a lovely walk. What I didn't realise is that park, it was the Hungary fan zone today.
Yeah, thank you for the information.
But it wasn't 2 days ago. It was empty. It was lovely. And then someone told me that it was the Hungary fans meeting point, and I realised I had sent you to walk through it.
We're walking through and he's saying, is this the right way? And we says, we'll follow these fans. And when we were following to them, we didn't realise they had a red strip on and they were going right into the fan zone, so we had to make a quick U-turn and go there. But they love Super Scoreboard in Hungary.
I'm sure they do.
There.
It was the Hungary fans with the MMA gloves on that I thought were quite worrying, I have to say.
I've got to say they were a bit worrying myself.
I think we just nod and smile and walk on and hope for the best.
You're their friends,
But anyway, 15 gone, Scotland 0, Hungary 0. Lots of the ball for Scotland, no chances yet. No chances conceded either, really. Angus Gunn had a save to make, but it was a pot shot from distance. It bounced in front of him, it became awkward, but it wasn't a particularly close opportunity as we move beyond that quarter of an hour mark.
It's a game of chess, this, it really is. You can just see Angus Gunn feeding it to Gilmore, but you can see the Hungarians just dropping off, and it's almost like you're just waiting on someone making a false move, and then can we pick that pass? So it does is right. It is a cagey start from both sides. They know what's at stake here, and neither team wants to lose the first goal, because you'd probably fear for either team if they lose the first goal.
Looking at the
you look at the Germans and you look at the Swiss, they have the quality to get back into it, but a goal against could damage each of these teams' hopes.
Is this where you look at a Billy Gilmore? I think Germany have scored in the other game in the group. Indeed they have. So that's, again, in theory, that's good for us, I suppose. We'll take that. Scotland still have their own business to do, to take care of, but I'm sure you've all noticed the permutations. If Scotland can win tonight, if Germany can beat Switzerland well, could be looking at a second place finish in the group. But work to be done on that front yet, Hugh Keevins.
Yeah, still interested in the Hungarian strategy. They look like a team who've scored early and are trying to stonewall it to the final whistle, rather than someone who's going out to really stamp the mark on this game. So it's a funny game.
Yeah, it is, but you have to say they might look at it in the sense that it's working at the moment, Mark, because we've not created a chance, we've not even really been close. So you would kind of see, you could spin that whatever way you wish it. Hugh is right, they don't look like they're in any hurry to win it, but they might be pretty comfortable with the way things are.
Well, they look like a team who've done their homework, and you'd expect at this level that they know we've not got real creativity as in a number 10 or anything like that. It's going to jink past a couple of players. They know we rely on spaces opening up, and they're giving us none of it at the minute.
Yeah, plus the fact when you look at overall, the other night there, McTominay I thought was brilliant. We've not really seen him in this game so far.
No, not really seen anyone. And there's the first time they've put a squeeze on Callum McGregor, but it does go behind for a Scotland goal kick. You're right. Again, these are... You forget Gordon Dalziel. There's been so much optimism, so much hope. By every... Is that Germany goal about to be ruled out? Yeah, it has been ruled out. Switzerland 0, Germany 0. What was it ruled out for?
It was a foul in the build-up play. The ball comes across and is Musiala just too late and wipes out the defender before the shot went into the back of the net. So it's still 0-0.
I mean, Gordon, this is a Hungary team that they are ranked above us in the world rankings. Oh, someone's in trouble. It's a yellow card for a challenge on John McGinn.
He does well there, McGinn, because he anticipates it being a bad touch. He nips in there and just gets enough in it to poke it away from the Hungarian midfielder, and it's the right decision. Goes right through John McGinn.
There's a telltale sign referees always look for, Gordon. When you chase your own bad touch, you're always going in the book. It's almost automatic.
Yeah, and he does it within the referee's about 5 yards away from perfect view of it. Good decision. Hugh, you maybe get this wrong. I think the ref's having a good game.
Well, we're a long way to go yet, Dazzler.
But I've got to say, you talk about Hungary, and I totally agree with you. There's no spark to them, no energy to them. But the thing you would say is, and you picked up, Gordon, we've not created and don't even look like creating a chance.
And it looks like they know it. Like I said, You go back to Northern Ireland, you go back to Finland. It is this team's Achilles heel, and it's like you're going to have one being where we are in the international food chain. You know, we're not blessed with these superstars at the cutting edge of the pitch.
Yeah, and that's the difference from the teams who will go deep into the tournament and go on and win it and compete in semi-finals and finals. That they have those players. We don't. We are much more a team performance, and trying to wear the opposition down and create an opportunity. But look, I wouldn't say we're certainly You know, if it goes like this and it goes deep into the second half and it's still like this, of course Steve Clarke will need to look at his bench to see where the creativity is coming from.
I'm not about to panic. There's not enough football being played, and we've got the possession, of course we have, but we've just got to try and use it a little bit better for me.
That's maybe a bit better pass to Anthony Ralston, who finds Billy Gilmore. He takes it for a little skip down the line and he just tries to check back, maybe slightly in danger of overdoing it, so he's forced to come all the way back. And you can see Jack Hendry lifting his head and thinking about that cross, but it would be a really ambitious one. I just wonder, Gordon, it's the first time we've been near a byline. Does Billy Gilmore need to just wrap that across the face of goal?
I think he does brilliantly well, Gordon. Great run, great movement. Just, put it in the box as there and just ask the question.
Well, there we go. It was overhit but from John McGinn, but it was possibly a better idea to try and just force something slightly. He rolled it onto his favoured left foot. He was possibly been fouled actually, and he just overhits the cross and it goes out for a goal kick.
You know what, it's a great opportunity because it's a great area to cross it from. Left foot in, swinging from 20 yards out, just in the wide area. And when you see it, McTominay has made that run in about the penalty spot. He's not picked up, and even if Andy Robertson could have got round the back, it was the first time that we've sort of outnumbered them in the box. And if the cross was better, that could have been an opportunity, but much better. And Gilmore did moments ago. How did he get there? He ran ahead of Ralston. Ralston then feeds him, and that's what we need, more runners off Shea Adams.
Yeah, that was better from Scotland. It was the first time that the possession hadn't necessarily been in front of the Hungarians, and Scotland could put on a bit of a press here, and it might have worked. John McGinn's going to try and burrow his way. He goes down, and we've won a lot of free kicks, Gordon Dalziel. It's been a good start in that sense. They look like physically they can't quite get to grips with us.
Yeah, I think they look poor. I think if we can find that spark, that opportunity to get in behind them, create a few chances, I think this game's here so far because they have looked really, really poor. They've looked edgy, and John McGinn, the best free kick, what do you call it? Winner I've ever seen.
What do you call it?
He is good at winning free kicks.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Well, best free kick winner.
Do you get an award for that?
This is the best player to win free kicks.
This is the best position we've had for a crossing opportunity from Andy Robertson. Let's hope the delivery's good. It's not, unfortunately, and I feel like it's been a bit of a theme from this tournament, Mark Wilson. Yeah. Those opportunities, when they come around, when you watch this game, we're a quarter of the way through it, we clearly won't create loads, so those deliveries need to be better.
So disappointing that, because we have went 20 odd minutes into the game, we get a good position, we get the three from the back up alongside that, and you don't beat the first man. It has to be so much better, and you would expect better from Andy. So hugely disappointing, but those last few minutes here were much better. We were playing higher up the pitch in better areas rather than just playing in front of Hungary.
I know it's the fine margins at this level, Gordon, isn't it? Because they're looking for that perfect delivery with the whip and the pace. Yeah. You sometimes just, as a layman, as a fan, you think just try and get it into the area first and let's make sure we get that. But I get it. I mean, that's why Austin McPhee and Andy Robertson are doing their thing, and why we're sitting in a pub outside the stadium.
They're looking for perfection, Gordon, but I totally agree with you. Sometimes on the pitch, and you're the captain, take a little bit of responsibility. You know the area you're trying to hit, but just take a little bit of, give your players something to go and attack. You've not been in the box too often, so put them under a little bit of pressure. Just ask a question, see what they've got.
And this is where it's tough. Jack Hendry tried to do that risky pass, wrap it into feet, but it didn't quite stick, and it's not always easy to make that happen. But Scotland are battling away well. Gilmore's going to be tidy, and it does find Adams down the line, but he can't quite gather it after a challenge. And it's just going on as you were, Hugh Keevins.
Yeah, we can see now why Hungary lost their two previous matches. Marco Rossi's approach to the game, the Hungarian manager, very peculiar, and I agree with what Gordon and Mark said, that perseverance is the name of the game here now. Yes, the goalkeeper hasn't been worked at all, but persevere, because they don't look to me top drawer, and they don't. Angus Guns had one shot to deal with, which you could argue is one more than the Hungarian goalkeepers had to deal with, but they're there for the taking.
Have to be careful it doesn't get desperate, Mark. I mean, it fell to Andy Robertson there in the left back position. We had loads of opportunities to keep possession. We can just lash the sort of high ball forward. John McGinn couldn't really get there.
Don't know what he's thinking there. I've seen him do it a couple of times in the Germany game as well, and for somebody who plays at the top level like Andy, expect more composure We don't just want to be giving the ball away aimlessly. I mean, we're seeing the possession stats just now, 77% possession, 171 passes to Hungary's 44. Listen, that tells its own story. You know, that we've got so much possession, but we're doing very little with it in terms of troubling their back line. So, you know, while it's not desperate, we would like to see that possession eke its way further up the pitch instead of the middle third if possible.
What we would like to do, Mark, is simply try and test the goalkeeper. That's what we need to do. It's okay having the possession, the stats, but we need to try and test the goalkeeper. Look, there's a long way to go in this game. We do have to be patient. I agree with you. So far, what I've seen of Hungary, I have not been impressed with them.
Good tenacity, aggression from Jack Hendry, too much in the eyes of the referee. He doesn't have a very high bar for that stuff. I mean, Jack Hendry probably did bundle into the back of the man first of all.
It's a free kick.
You know what, it's good pressure initially, but I think he just needs to slow down there. I think he actually went in so quick that the only way he could stop himself was a kind of forearm into his back. But again, it shows how brave he's been instructed to be. You know, not to stay off anybody, to go tight.
And it's brilliant from Anthony Ralston. Really well won back. He snapped into an area.
He started well, Ralston.
Yep.
Got to say, you know, in possession as well. He's taking us up the pitch when he can. So, you know, for all the criticism he's got over the last couple of days,
he's got. I'm frustrated here because the left centre back McKenna gets the ball. He starts to go back. He's got to drive into the space and cause problems.
Oh, John McGinn clattered again. That's going to be another booking. Hungry. I'm not holding back, Hugh Keevins.
No, that's one way of putting it, Gordon. You know, I think they're not only suspect, but they've obviously targeted McGinn, and that was one of these times yellow will be red.
That's a similar one that McGinn got booked for in the previous game, Mark. Remember, he did that to Shard, and he ran in after he'd cleared the ball. So,
but I looked to Sorian when you seen it again on his knee. But John McGinn, of course, got that powerful war body that he just bounces away from it. And
so another free kick, but another one again. It's a really deep position, so everything needs to be pretty perfect from here. Billy Gilmore is going to whip it out swinging. Another very high line from Hungary. It feels like the balls are not quite in that area, Gordon, that makes defenders and goalkeepers uncertain.
I've got to say, at that level, international football, I would expect the defence to go and deal with those sort of balls. I'm very surprised Scotland are playing them, and every time they get the ball, they're doing the same thing. Mix it up.
Hungary look like they are just...
Scotland give it away so carelessly when they were in really good possession. And Hungary have got a chance to come forward here. This will be a real disappointment to Steve Clarke. They had so many bodies up the pitch, Scotland, and they've given away a corner. That's a real disappointment. That was such poor possession to lose.
Well, I was just about to say, Hungary look like they're begging to be scored against, or chances to be created against them, and we give it away needlessly.
And Switzerland have scored against Germany, so that really changes things if you're looking at a second place finish in the group. Of course, Scotland trying to go through as one of the better third place teams as well, but Switzerland have taken the lead against Germany, so that would certainly kiss goodbye to the hopes of second place if that was to stay the way it is. But let's focus one step at a time. Let's not run before we can walk, because we've
defend a set play,
got a corner to defend, which is very annoying because we've not let Hungary anywhere near the goal. We gave away really silly possession high up the pitch, and Hungary are good from set pieces. We saw it against Germany, not so much obviously scoring, but just the threat that they posed from them, and the delivery good, but really well won initially by Hanley, and then brilliant. The referee might pull this back for a head knock. I hope not, because there is a head knock as Scotland try and come forward. I think Shea Adams is just out of options a little bit. We're always forced to turn back, Mark.
He stopped it now for the head knock. I think, but look, let's deal with the initial danger first. Hungary, good at set pieces, but so are we at defending them, and we defended that one very well again.
Was it Hanley that went and attacked that? Yeah, it was. That's great defending. Great defending from...
He does catch the Hungary player in the face.
Yeah, the arm is over, but he's using it for elevation.
He's entitled to go and do that. That's a terrific defensive header. He wins the ball. He wants to win that ball. He wants to clear the danger, and obviously that's a good header.
Just confirmation that Ndoye has put Switzerland 1-up against Germany. I'm just a little bit nervous that the ref was taking a look. No, I think he's fine. Grant Hanley did catch the Hungarian player completely by accident, but you know,
Stranger
sometimes
things have happened, yeah, where those sorts of things are looked at, but no, not this occasion. But Daz is right, Hanley's so good at that, and you look at our back three, McKenna and Hanley and Henry, good at defending their 6-yard line. Add McTominay in there as well, we look pretty secure.
Hopefully the ref bails. Oh, and he looks in a bit of pain, Jack Hendry. He looks in a bit of pain because he had to come over and cover. I think he's maybe just landed awkwardly.
Yeah, no, I think somebody landed on him. I think the opposition player landed on him, Gordon.
Yeah. I have to say, I think Jack Hendry maybe gets away with one. He's kind of stamped on in the stomach.
That is.
I think that's naughty or accidental.
I think that's naughty. I think he knows what he's doing.
Nah, I'm not sure.
You don't think so?
He's stumbling a bit, isn't he, Mark?
Yeah, I think the two of them just getting a tango here. Jack Henry, body position wrong. He's always going down. I think the Hungarian player just, he can't put his foot anywhere else.
On the grass, I would imagine.
Also, it is actually a free kick to Hungary. Yeah. I thought the referee had given Scotland the benefit of the doubt. Hanley wins, but it has fallen to Hungary at the edge of the box. Scotland haven't had a lot of defending to do, so let's hope the focus is still there as we pass beyond the half-hour mark. There's a ball in, and again it is. It's the first time, and Shea Adams just hasn't looked after it, and he goes down, and it's a bit frantic.
Scrappy.
Oh no, and this is in Sobotlai territory. This could be a real danger for Scotland.
Yeah, it's fair play for Adams. I praised him the other night there for the way he led the line. I thought he was absolutely brilliant.
He's not been tidy enough at all.
No, he's not been tonight. No, he's certainly not.
No, I would agree with that. A couple of times the balls went up to him and he hasn't made it stick, but that is crucial. When you're 40 yards from your goal and it goes up to you, you've got to keep it or bring others into play. And he blasts it off McTominay, and it's led to this free kick. What we're saying, about 25 yards from goal, central area. This is dangerous.
Gordon, this is a real worry. If you were to drop a list of players in the tournament you don't want hitting this at your goal, Sobotlai would be one of them.
I really think that's a bit far. I'm sure Donald. I know he's terrific.
I hope you are right.
I am very confident of the goalkeeper. I'd be disappointed.
That is shooting territory.
What, you saying that's too far out?
I think that's something special. I think they'll take something special to beat the Scotland goalkeeper.
Well, he steps
very
up,
surprised.
Right-footed, it hits the wall and goes over. It's going to be a corner
have
kick.
Have confidence in me.
It's a corner kick though, and all of a sudden Scotland just have a bit of defending to do. They've not really had to, and it's starting to get a couple of set pieces, Mark, corners, free kicks. Steve Clarke will look to try and reverse this soon.
Yeah, well, we've done nothing with the possession we've had. Hungary, very little possession, but they've started to gain more territory up the field. These are an important few minutes for us.
Yeah, Sobotlai is going to come over and take the corner instead. His delivery's so good, and Angus Gunn and Grant Hanley combine though to get it away from just underneath the crossbar. These second balls caused one or two difficulties against Switzerland, but Scotland hack it away. And this is the danger, Hugh Keevins. You do not want to lose a goal to a team that have barely had the ball.
Yeah, exactly. They're a win ugly kind of team, Hungary. I'm watching this, Gordon, and I'm thinking to myself, this Hungary team went through the group stage, they qualified to get to Germany and didn't lose a match. And I'm thinking, how did they manage that? But all of a sudden they've started to come into the game. They're now taking us at the back, and they look as if they can be interested in finally having a shot at goal.
Yeah, and then when it comes to the Hanleys of the team, Mark, it's now a bit more forced. It's a bit more desperate. Hacked clear, and John McGinn's left for dead, and really Hungary are starting to up it here. There's a threaded ball, a combination of Hendry and McKenna don't really deal with it.
Yeah.
And there's a kind of heart and mouth spell this for Scotland. Don't really know how this game's spun in the last couple of minutes, but all of a sudden we're penned in.
Yeah, and you can just see the difference in the quality when they get the ball and they promote bodies forward, and they've got Sobotlai who can play that beautiful pass through the middle. They look dangerous when you give them the opportunity to be dangerous. They've rode it out, they've played a defensive shape for half an hour, but they look like they're just working their way into this game, and you can see there's a threat certainly there.
Yeah, they're starting to dominate possession. Of that, there's no doubt. Scotland just need to be careful. Composure. You're not going to dominate every game. Obviously, Hungary have come in with a game plan, frustrate Scotland early, let them have the possession at the back, and then just build their way into the game. and they're starting to look a little bit better. I was with Hugh, I wasn't impressed with them early doors, but they're now starting to look a bit better as a team.
Yeah, maybe a slight worry for Scotland, because they had that good spell, if you like, where they had all the ball but didn't create anything at all. And now Hungary strike from distance and it goes over the bar. Hugh Keevins.
Yeah, they are very much into the game now, and we've gone into a lull. You just wonder, perhaps, not first half obviously, but the second half, if it's still 0-0, if Stevie Clarke might contemplate the introduction of James Forrest, try something entirely different, ask them a different question, see if Hungary can get the answer.
Well, here's something that would surprise you. As things stand, Switzerland top this group.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. They've taken the lead against Germany, and given what we saw against Germany and then what we saw against Switzerland, it's quite a thought. But of course, the arithmetic is not too tough to keep up with. They would go above Germany if they could hang on, and they are winning tonight. It is 1-0 to Switzerland. Free kick Hungary just inside their half.
Yeah, just being a bit careless sometimes with that sort of stuff, where you know, you've got them where you want them facing their own goal, and you bundle into the back. All these players need is minimal contact, and they'll go down.
A touch of sympathy for Anthony Ralston there, Gordon. I think the Hungarian player was fairly... He was happy to go down, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was happy to take the free kick. It's not been the most exciting game of the tournament, but the pressure on both teams is incredible, and it just looks like nobody wants to lose that first, probably important goal.
Yeah, and the worry would be, Mark, we're starting to lose it a bit more when we get it in midfield. Gilmore there, just giving it away.
Well, they've taken confidence from the last 5 minutes, how they've built themselves into this game. They just look more explosive, I think, than us when they have possession. You know, those little sharp movements, you can see there's danger there. We look a bit pedantic at the minute when we've got possession.
Yeah, ball goes past Callum McGregor and it won't sit for Scotland. I think Germany have equalised, have they not? I just heard a rogue cheer, but nothing yet.
Yeah, they're starting to pin us back a little bit. We're going deeper and deeper and deeper. We've just got to ride this out a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't come to anything. I think there was a flag up. That's maybe the breather that Scotland need. It's not been relentless Hungary pressure where it's
not been a great game, Gordon. I've got to.
That's fine though. I don't really mind that.
There's a Scotland fan over there going off his head because his pal woke him up.
He's asleep. He's no bother, that guy, is he?
He was just.
He's up. No, he's
up. He's raging because his pal woke him up.
Another refreshment.
That's what he needs, eh?
That'll keep him awake.
That's exactly what he needs. Is that other Stein just to keep him going.
After watching 30 odd minutes, he's going, why do you wake me up?
What? He got his face painted as well.
I know, what a waste.
His face.
Imagine getting your face painted to have it planted against the table in the pub for 90 minutes.
That's been the most entertaining thing in
I can't keep my eyes off him.
Hugh Keevins, I don't really mind the entertainment value. If it's a bore fest that leads to us winning and going through, then great. We probably do need to up it at some point though.
Yeah, we're 38 minutes in and we have not had a direct shot at goal. You know, that's the one thing I would like to see. We are totally lacking the guile at the moment to fashion a goal-scoring chance. But into the second half, things will have to give, because if either of these teams want to be in the last 16, they're going to have to up it.
John McGinn looks like he's got his marker's number though, Gordon, but if he can just get away from him a bit higher up the pitch, maybe.
Yeah, I think McGinn, there was big question marks about him because his last two games, and listen, I forgive everyone for Germany because not one of them give pass marks for me. Against Switzerland, didn't see a lot of them. Tonight's been a lot better.
That's better. There's Anthony Ralston down the line, crosses one in. Shea Adams underneath it. McTominay's there. He can't make it sit down for him. He's given it a good go, and then Hungary do hack it clear, as Hugh says. Just trying to get that shot away, Mark. Just anything at the moment. But we still have it through John McGinn.
Yeah, much better from Ralston. Works it well.
McGinn cross is so poor all the way through to the goalkeeper.
Well, I just think, McGinn's cross is poor, but I wonder if we could get someone across that front area. You know, three of them crowding the back area, the 6-yard box there. But moments before, better from Ralston. You know, a little one down the line. He fakes to go inside, you know, tricks his marker, and he gets possession in the wide area.
Yeah, Anthony Ralston might be getting a talking to at least from the referee.
Yeah.
Just because he's had a couple, a couple in quick succession there.
I think what's strange about this, his referee's not going to. He didn't look like he was going to, and I thought he'd maybe been talked into it.
There's not much in that from Anthony Ralston. It's a foul, but I don't know what the fuss was all about.
It was a good play from Ralston earlier with getting the ball into the box. I think that McGinn shouldn't have played. I thought Ralston on his right hand side, bit of patience, work the space, then get the ball in. But I do agree with Mark's saying, if you're going to play balls in like that, you need to get players across the front.
Danger for Scotland, headed clear by Andy Robertson, headed back in, back out by Hendry. Oh, that's a high foot.
Now we've got a problem.
And it's another one from Shea Adams. He's been very untidy. He's tried an overhead kick on the edge of his own box and he's caught someone with a high foot. And we're giving Soboslai another crack at this, even closer than the last one.
Just not falling for Adams. He's stretching. Can make his foot. Make full contact in the ball there. Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't even touch.
He doesn't
touch the Hungary player at all.
So he makes full contact with the ball, doesn't touch a Hungary player, and the referee's still giving a free kick.
And of course, if this was to go in, VAR doesn't take a look.
No, that would just somewhere look up sometimes.
The attacking phase of play begins when this free kick is taken.
Don't worry about it. This boy's no good at free kicks.
I'll genuinely stop that.
It's not getting in.
Have you seen some of his free kicks?
But he's off it tonight.
I really wish you wouldn't. I mean that.
You would think this is. I wonder if he's going to reverse this back across Angus Gunn.
40 minutes on the clock. Soboslai is going to step up right-footed. He's actually going to cross it. They've caught us out at the back, and luckily it is headed over the bar. Can't believe he didn't shoot, but neither could the Scotland defence, and Hungary should have done much better. Was the flag up?
I don't know if the flag was up, Gordon. I think he went just but I'll tell you what, we get caught there. Yeah,
he's offside.
He's offside. Is he offside?
Yeah. But he is offside, but we still get caught.
Hits the bar. Hits the top of the bar and goes over.
I don't think Ralston's body position is in any way able to see who's behind him, so we get away with one there, offside.
You cannot at that level, Gordon, turn round and think that the guy's just going to shoot all the time. You've got to be switched on. Defenders have got to be switched on. Pick up their man. You're right about his body position. It was really
Crowd
poor.
in here don't like you. I think they started booing at you there since you started.
They're happy that I got it right.
Yeah, you're right. So we just need to be careful. Very inventive there from the Hungarians, because we're all certain Soboslai is going to shoot because he's that good. But again, we always praise Austin McPhee for how much work he puts into set pieces. The top teams do, so they've certainly got someone on the case as well.
I have to say, granted it is their job and not mine, but I think everybody thought he was going to shoot, Mark.
Yeah, without doubt, he's got the quality, the ability. We've seen some of his free kicks before, so it was a bit of a surprise. But Ralston's got to be ready anyway.
Yeah, but what me is, it's okay us sitting here thinking, everybody thinks you've got to shoot. Yeah. You're out there as a player. You've got to be switched on at this level.
Starting to see a bit of frustration creeping in. Anthony Ralston tried a long, really difficult switch, and it went out of play, and John McGinn screaming that he just wanted the ball to feet Mark Wilson.
Yeah, and I would like to see us get the ball to his feet more, because you touched on it moments ago. I think he's played better in this first 40 odd minutes than he has in any of the previous two games. He looks on it okay. Some of his crosses have just been a wee bit off, but we need to get him in the ball in the final third more.
Yeah, I think we need to get Gilmore back on the ball. I thought early on he started it.
That's a nice ball in the channel from Gilmore. Shea Adams needs to do something with it.
He's done great there.
Yeah, he puts a ball in. That is the problem, I suppose, with the system we play. Adams goes out there, and then you need other midfielders to get into the box, which none of them really could at that moment in time.
A wing back's job, it's the worst position. It was the worst position for me to play. They get in the back post and make up the numbers, but when you see it going to the back post, Andy Robertson looks like he's still got about another 15 yards to make up to put the defender under pressure. He's got to be there on first contact to put them under pressure, because Adams, you're right, did do well in the wide area, but this is better from us for the last minute or so.
Trying quite a few ambitious crossfield passes, though, which aren't coming off. Shea Adams is the latest. It doesn't reach Andy Robertson, and could be in trouble here. Great challenge, Jack Hendry. Referee's pulled it back. He's got a card in his hand.
Yeah, he's booking the Hungarian player.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is for diving, I think.
No, he's not.
Is he not?
I don't think so.
Well, I thought he was.
Waiting on the Hungarian player to get up before he takes.
So who's he booking?
He's booking the Hungarian player.
Oh, it can't have been a dive. What is?
Well, he's got a card in his hand. It looks like he's booking the lad when he gets up.
You two might be onto something. That's why you're paid the big bucks.
Yeah, he's the third.
Oh, you're right. Do you know what? Actually,
he's
Hugh Keevins, what you don't see first time is it's
Oh, that's naughty.
It's naughty on Jack Hendry.
I've said it before, Gordon, one of these times yellow will be red, and I think that was close to being the time. 3 bookings so far. If Hungary, if they finish with 11 men, it might be the biggest feat they achieve all night.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought that was poor.
That's closer to red than the ones 100%.
We've seen. By the way, I was going to say, if that, I know they will look at it and they will be looking at it just now, but that's pretty close. That's right in the edge of what we've seen throughout the season.
Yeah, they're not as fussy at this tournament, though. You get that impression, don't you?
I didn't like that at all.
Okay, long, straight free kick from Scotland. They do just about win the first header, but it's so hard to break down this Hungarian white wall that they've got at the back. Billy Gilmore's going to try and find John McGinn. Just even a shot at goal towards the end of the half. Hanley can't, he's under it and he just couldn't quite twist. It was Scott McKenna, couldn't quite twist his neck and get the direction on it. Goes through to the goalkeeper harmlessly.
I've got to say, Mark, we've had 3 kicks in this first half. I'd like to try and see us mix up a little bit. I know Austin McPhee's in there as the lad that decides where the free kicks go, but at this level, do you really think you're going to score from that?
You know what? By the way, see when we win the first contact, it didn't look like we had any belief that we were going to win. Because see if Henry actually gambles and moves forward, he's favourite to get on that. But he's standing at the edge of the box.
1 minute added on at the end of this half.
We just need to show a wee bit more belief. But look, it's no disaster. We're still 0-0, we're still in it, but I would like to see you show a bit more belief that we can actually go and trouble
this. Do you know this game strikes me as a game that the hero is sitting on the bench? I think the second half, Steve Clarke will need to look at substitutions.
Oh, I thought the referee was going to give a free kick. It seemed to be a challenge from behind on McTominay, but he did win the ball.
There's trouble.
And there's danger for Scotland, edge of the box over the bar from Sobot Sly.
Hungarian fans in here certainly making themselves known.
I have to say, Mark, the player gets the ball, but nowadays that is a foul. He's through the back of McTominay with the scissor motion,
and it leads to the game open up.
Half time. Let's get the eyewitness account from inside the stadium with Andrew Maclean.
Scotland 0, Hungary 0, the half-time score in the Stuttgart Arena. A game with so much hype in the build-up, so much promise, but it really hasn't lived up to any of it so far. Hungary were really happy to just sit in early on, let Scotland have the ball, and despite the fact Scotland were dominating possession, the Scotland midfield and the wide areas just unable to find any sort of telling pass or get the ball into the box, into dangerous areas to try and hurt their opponents. It did allow Hungary, though, some opportunities to break forward, and their first chance came from that. It was worked over to the right, and Bendigo's ball shot from distance was saved down to the right of Angus Gunn. He managed to beat that one away. Hungary grew into it a bit. Scotland were still unable to do anything with the ball when they had it, not testing Peter Galazzi at all, while Hungary were forced into efforts from distance. Dominic Szoboszlai lined up a free kick in a good area later on in the half. You'd expect him to shoot from that kind of range, but he tricked the Scotland defence. He curled it high towards the back post. Willie Orban was free, but directed his header off the top of the bar. The assistant's flag had gone up. There have been a few heavy challenges from Hungary as well. They've already had 3 yellow cards in this game, but really hasn't managed to live up to what many thought it would be. Maybe a bit cagey, maybe a few nerves on show in this game so far that definitely needs a spark going into the second half. The half-time score here in the Stuttgart Arena is Scotland 0, Hungary 0.
How would you sum it up, Gordon Dalziel?
It's not been the greatest game. I don't think we've carved out enough chances. We've not really put them under pressure. They look a team that's just sitting there trying to work their way into the game, and they achieved that, and then they started taking better possession. It's been a very nervy game. It's lacked a bit of quality for me. I said just before half-time, this could be a night where Steve Clarke makes that substitution and that hero comes from that to come on and get us that vital goal. The first goal in this game looks like it's going to be the one that wins it, but 0-0 half-time, I would like to see us a little bit more better in the final third.
Yeah, KJ, no doubt about it. Both sides understand what's at stake in this game. Both sides clearly don't want to lose the first goal. I think for us, we look like a team who are maybe fearful of promoting too many bodies forward, maybe fearful of trying a pass that gets cut out and then it punishes us. Playing a bit safe. Look, there's nothing wrong with that at the minute, but as the game wears on and you want to win the game, then you're going to have to take a chance somewhere along the line. But at the minute, all's okay. We're still in the game. We haven't conceded. Okay, we've conceded a couple of shooting opportunities to Hungary without creating much ourselves, but I think Steve Clarke will be okay with us at the minute. That was his game plan. He'll certainly have another plan for the second half if it's still going this way, and Daz might be right. It might be someone on the bench that comes on and as a spark for us going forward.
Hugh Keevins, what's the view from home been?
In the second half, Gordon, the issues will be crystallised. You only have 45 minutes. You have to understand that a draw won't cut it for Scotland, and that something will have to be done. The Hungary side have not been the greatest, but they have had several attempts at goal, which we have not. Not a single attempt at goal. In the second half, we have a player who was a top goal scorer in our country, who has not been given a proper chance yet in this tournament. If we need a win, we have to look at Shankland, and for a decent number of minutes. And we also have to look at the player who, at a late stage in his career, became the belated sensation for Celtic, and that was James Forrest. And we have to look at perhaps Forrest and or Shankland. We need to do something different, because what we're doing just now won't get us to the last 16.
Well, it has been cagey, it has been nervy, but Scotland very much in it, controlling the ball for lots of that first half, but no real chances, in fact no chances at all created. Let's see what the second half has in store. We'll go back into the Stuttgart Arena after these.
Live from Stuttgart, this is Clyde One's Super Scoreboard.
Welcome back to Clyde One Super Scoreboard live in Stuttgart, where at the break it sits Scotland 0, Hungary 0. Lots of the ball, not too many big chances given away, but no chances created. So that is the story of the first half in a nutshell. Remind yourselves of where we are. A win is really what's required to take Steve Clarke's side hopefully through to the next stage. There is a bizarre set of circumstances, which means a draw might be enough. This might be enough the way things sit, but you certainly wouldn't want to leave that to chance. What's the mood been like inside the stadium, Andrew Maclean? Any restlessness?
No restlessness so far. There was, of course, the incredible national anthem. The Scotland fans were extremely loud after that, making their support known. The Hungary fans, it was then their turn. They've been really loud as well. But after that, it did start to mellow a wee bit, and it was maybe just reflecting what was happening on the pitch. But I think maybe just the nerves setting in, because there will have been that adrenaline during the national anthem and the build-up to the game all throughout the day, that party atmosphere. But once the game got going and it wasn't really setting the heather alight at all, I think maybe just a bit of nerves across the stands at the moment. The Scotland fans will be hoping that the players can come out and show something inspiring at the start of this second half, because, as you say, a lot of the ball, but not a single shot from Scotland so far in this game. They'll really be hoping that changes going into this second half.
It's still an interesting tactic from Hungary, though, Gordon, because to remind ourselves again of where we are, of course you could say at the break it's working, because they've limited us to absolutely nothing. No chances, no shots, but they need to win, and probably win well. So would you expect a different Hungary in the second half as well? It's easy to criticise Scotland, and that's what we're focused on.
I was expecting a different Hungary from the first whistle, Gordon. I thought they'd have been on the front foot, putting pressure on us, like what happened with the Germans. I thought they would have tried the uneases. But they sat back, they let us have the ball at the back, they let us play about, they were patient, they didn't look a particularly good team, and then all of a sudden they started growing into the game, they started becoming a little bit better, creating a few chances. Look, our goalkeeper's not very busy in goals and had a lot to do, but they started looking a better team. You're thinking, right, okay, they're getting into their game plan, and then all of a sudden it's fell back into this, what I would call dull football, because it's not the most exciting game, you've got to say, in 45 plus minutes. It's all about the result now. So if they've got any chance at all, I would expect them to change their tactics second half as well.
Any sign, Andrew Maclean, of any changes being made at the break?
No, I wouldn't expect there to be any changes from Scotland. It looks as if the full allocation of substitutes is out there at the moment, warming up, including the two goalkeepers, Liam Kelly and Xander Clark. It's always hard to tell, because you can have such a big bench in these European games, so sometimes you do lose track. But I think Steve Clarke might just stick with the team he's got for the start of this second half. But what was interesting, certainly on Wednesday, we had so many supporters, whether it was during the game, whether it was retrospectively after it as well, saying that they felt Steve Clarke maybe should have made earlier changes in that game. You do wonder whether Steve Clarke may well turn to his bench earlier in this game, because it was a bit of a criticism of Steve Clarke, has been at times, that maybe he's a bit more reactive than proactive in his substitutions. So that'll be something he'll certainly be mulling over at the moment while he's speaking to his starting 11 in the changing room.
It's a difficult balance, Mark. You're allowed to criticise Scotland. I think we all are. I think we should. I think we need more. We need more attacking intent. You need more creativity. Hungary are doing this on purpose, though. They're a good team, and they are ranked higher than us, and they scooshed their qualification campaign because they know what we're doing, what they're doing. And if there's an area of our pitch that's probably not quite up to some of the other areas, it would be the centre forward area. It would be that real attacking midfield area, as good as, you know, kind of McGinn and McTominay can be at arriving in the box. So this notion that all we have to do is go for it a bit more, it's just not always that simple. All I'm seeing is tweets saying that we need to just go for it a bit more. It sounds great, but in reality,
what does it really mean? In reality, you've got to say, look, Hungary have done their homework. Analysis is such a big part of the game now, and the Hungarian analysis team and the team meetings that they would have had with the players would have highlighted Scotland's weaknesses. And let's be honest, our weakness is our attacking threat. Even the games that we have won, we hardly batter teams, do we? And hardly create 10 to 15 chances a game. We get our noses in front and we manage to hang in there. And so they're quite happy to give up possession. It's up to us now. You said Hungary are restricting us. They are. But we're also restricting ourselves in terms of scoring. When will that be? When will Steve Clarke gamble? When will he go for it? Will it be that hour mark that we see so many managers? Or will he go further and deeper into the game, bearing in mind that the players' legs have taken a bit of a battering over the last week?
There's two ways he can do it. He can sit back and keep the same tactic and hope something falls for him. Set play, a mistake, anything, right? But on the evidence of the first 45, you don't think that's going to happen. Or you change it, because you look at Adams. I praised him the other night. All his work's done 18, 20 yards from our box, in our box. You know, he's back there, he's tackling, he's trying to win balls. We need to get up the pitch, we need to get in the final third, we need to get behind. So he's either going to do one or two things, Gordon, and I think the Scotland fans are crying out for change.
This team is at its best, though, Mark. Think about Spain or whatever. When teams come out, that's how you get in behind. And when you're not blessed with any natural pace whatsoever, you just wonder if it's how you do it. Well, if the other team doesn't come out at you.
You need someone to take the ball, you need somebody to dribble through, or you need somebody to play that cut and pass.
And we don't have anyone who's going to dribble through.
We've not got anybody in there that will dribble through. We've got people, guys in there that will keep possession. And it's nice to watch sometimes, but if it gets you nowhere, then it becomes pointless when you need to win the game. So that's a hard decision Steve Clarke's got to make, and how long he lets that go before he adds in a Ryan Christie, or the running power of Stuart Armstrong, who can drive past people, who can make those forward runs, or, like everyone's going to at the minute, and it's a popular one, is Shankland. Look, Adams for me hasn't had a particularly impressive 45 minutes. I don't think he's been on it tonight, and there's no shame in that. But does Steve Clarke see that, or is Adams still filling in a part of his plan that Steve Clarke likes? This will be the interesting thing.
Team back out, Andrew Maclean, any change?
No changes. Scotland made Hungary wait. Hungary were out in the pitch for a couple of minutes before the Scotland team. Steve Clarke getting his message across, but no changes as it stands at the moment. Callum McGregor standing over the ball. 45 minutes to go. A huge 45 minutes for Scotland. What is in store in Stuttgart?
Well, Hugh Keevins, a huge 45 minutes, doesn't even cover it.
No, it doesn't. And that's why I believe, Gordon, there will come a time when, and I agree with what you said earlier, you can't just go for it in a reckless fashion, but there will come a time when, to keep faith with that old cliche, if you want to win the raffle, you'll have to buy a ticket. And that means somebody is going to have to come on to see, we're with no shots, we're with no corners in 45 minutes. There will come a point in the night when, unless we tweak and unless we buy the ticket for the raffle, then we're going to get the booby prize.
It just shows you how stats are not all that matters, because if you'd told me that
Scotland would go into a game at the Euros with like over 60% possession in the first half, Mark, and we'd all be really disappointed with the performance. I'd be pretty surprised at you.
Yeah, of course. But again, it's what I said moments ago. It's what you do with that possession and where you have that possession that really counts. I mean, if you've got 60% possession in and around the Hungarian box, then we're pretty happy, because the odds are is you would have created something, but we haven't. We've, a good portion of our possession has been our back three and our goalkeeper, and that's a problem. So we just need to move things further up the pitch. We need to move the ball quicker. We need to try and stretch the Hungarian team to have any chance of creating an opportunity.
I agree with Mark. My big worry is at the back. We've got three at the back. We're playing a back three. Quite happy with that. But one of the left centre back, the right centre back's got to step into the middle of the park with the ball, because there's one Hungarian striker taking three of our players off out the pitch, which leaves them unadvantaged middle to front, and that's why we're not creating. Well, if you're talking about brave, Kieran Tierney is absolutely brilliant at it. Unfortunately, we've not got him. McKenna has got to be positive. Henry's got to be positive. You've got to step into the middle of the park and try and play from there.
Henry's been better at it. We've had more of it in the right, Mark, it feels like, than on the left, and then that's where maybe the Tierney injury does damage you, because not only is it him that's missing, but maybe it's not allowing us to get the same out of Robertson as we often would do.
Well, possibly. I mean, Henry's fed Ralston in the opening stages of the game, and I think Ralston's done fine today. Robertson very, very quiet. We need our best players involved, and I thought McGinn was more involved in the first 45. I don't think Robertson has been. I don't think McTominay has been either. So that's a real problem. We need to get these influential players involved.
It is a throw-in to Hungary down by our corner flag, or their attacking corner flag, I should say. So hopefully this one gets defended. They were thinking about the short one, but it's just going to come in long, which always gives you a bit of nervousness, especially. It looked like Billy Gilmore was perhaps nudged in the back, but the referee's not interested, and it means it's just booted away for another throw-in, so the ball will come back in.
I get the impression that Hungary are playing like us just now, just hoping for something to fall in the box and get that goal from a long throw-in, a free kick or a corner kick.
Yeah, corner to Hungary now.
It's a game of
percentage football, isn't it?
Yeah, basically.
You 100%. Put it in the box, you hope the defender knocks out like McKenna's just done. You get a corner, you hope it falls to you. Yeah, both teams playing similar. Scotland with set pieces, lacking creativity.
Set piece to defend though. Let's worry about this end of the pitch first. You know that Szoboszlai, his delivery is generally good, but so is Grant Hanley's defending. Another throw in, this one a bit further out, down in front of the technical areas. It's a great win by the Norwich man.
I've got to say, that's been positive. Every time the balls come in, Hanley, the one thing about him, he's terrific at going attacking the ball. He's brave, he's a good centre half, he'll go and dominate centre forwards, and you need that when quality balls come in, and so far Hanley's provided that for us.
Yeah, been a very slow start to the second half. Hungary with sort of all the ball, but really just some throw-ins and corners, and Scotland trying to defend. Hungary might have a man over here, so there's a bit of an opportunity. Scotland might need to be careful, because that is a delicate ball in. It's the first bit of craft we've seen, really, and as it falls, it's an easy save, a trundler into the arms of Angus Gunn.
Well, again, percentage football from Hungary, putting in the box and just making Scotland defend. And, you know, just by chance the ball then falls to someone. And
I think had anything come of that, it would have been offside in the end.
Would have been offside. Anyway. But again, look, give Anthony Ralston credit when he did turn. It was Ralston there throwing his body in front of it, and it gets a nick through to Gunn.
Scott McTominay feels he took a whack on the head, the ref not having it. I'm really looking forward to Gordon Dalziel and Mark Wilson tucking into this massive pizza that's just been placed down in front of them. I don't know how you're going to manage that, Hugh
Keevins. Like the wheel of a car.
You might need to help them out here.
Well, I've checked our cupboard and it's bare, let me tell you.
Shock.
And I last ate at 4 o'clock, so said there's a bit of pizza.
Someone back there get the old fella a bit of toast or something, a couple of Horlicks. Look after him, it's late.
A Welder's Original, something like that.
Just anything, keep his blood sugar up.
Tin of cold beans.
That's the game.
John McGinn nearly spinning in behind. Scott McTominay battling away. Referee gives a free kick on the edge of the box the other way. It's been so stop-start. McTominay booked again.
I mean, was it worthy of a booking? We'll see it again here. Was that
it? Scott McTominay just goes in.
Right, doesn't he? He doesn't make contact, does he?
There's really not much happening there in the way of contact.
I don't think there's any contact at all.
Yeah, I agree. I think Hughes nailed him on for the first whistle tonight. He's not been the greatest.
Yeah, it's been quite fussy at times. Offside flag against Hungary. It's been stop-start there. They'll possibly be as frustrated as we are, I guess, because they've created more than us, but barely. Mark, it's just not been a classic, and they really need to win.
So I mean, the Hungarian fans sitting around us will, be as disappointed as the Scotland fans that are sharing their space with us. Both teams just look so nervy about losing this first goal, or really opening up.
Every time it goes into Scott McTominay, someone just bundles him over, gives away a foul, and it's in a harmless area. So Hungary are doing it by design. Botka's got away with a couple, I have to say. I don't know what the referee's totting up procedure is here, because
look, if McTominay was booked moments before for his non-contact challenge, then surely Botka has to get booked there for coming round the back and through McTominay. So pretty inconsistent in that respect. But like this, it's been more of the same from Scotland as we watched in the first half. That's a bit better from McTominay round the corner.
Yeah, just can McGinn get free. Structure from Hungary's been very good, and that's coupled with a blunt Scotland attack, so it's a fairly bad combination if you're in dark blue.
Well, giving up the wide area, certainly protecting the middle of the pitch, all teams at Hungary have been very good at, and we've been poor at moving it wide quick enough and trying to outnumber them in the wide areas. I would like to see that. If they are giving up the wide areas, can we then get an overlap and run or an underlap and run there in the wide areas to help Robertson and Ralston, and then punish them that way if it's not happening through the middle of the pitch?
Yeah, here goes Billy Gilmore. He's going to try and cross it, but it hits the first defender again. So even when Scotland do get into areas, it doesn't really seem to come to much.
Yeah, it was a good opportunity. Gilmore getting into the left-hand side, in behind them for once, but you've got to say Hungarians good defending. The game is just taking the pattern of the first half. It's the same sort of a slow Hungarians fouling, slowing it down a little bit, forcing Scotland back the way. No pace to the game. It's just like we don't want to concede the first goal. You just wonder, that's better from Adams.
Yeah, good
that's
from
what you're
Adams. Brings it down in his chest. Andy Robertson gets it stuck under his feet, and he can't come forward with it. He's struggled to Liverpool. Scotland captain, he wins it back, well, does great. And here we go, here's Shea Adams down the left hand side. Scotland surely going to get into the box on this occasion. Adams shoots, it's deflected. No, it's not actually, it's just a really poor effort over the bar. Scotland's first shot at goal, and it was not worth the wait.
No, Robertson does well to regain possession, and the Hungarians then are disjointed, and it's our first opportunity to go at that back line. Adams holds up, Robertson's wide, can he slip him in? I think it's just desperation and frustration from Adams there that forces him to take the shot from 20 yards.
It's dreadful, Gordon, really. He's off balance, it's sitting up. Andy Robertson is outside him.
Wrong choice, he's got to play Robertson.
How's the pizza though?
Wrong choice, we should have got a pepperoni.
Chicken one.
Sounds nice.
Now Shea Adams has gone down looking for free kicks that aren't arriving. He's having a tough night, the Scotland number 10. He's had a couple of flashes there in the last few minutes, to be fair, Mark, where he's got involved initially, but over the piece he's struggling.
It was a nice touch because the quality of the ball up to him was better, but a nice touch to open the play up. And then when I said Robertson's disappointing, Robertson gets the ball off Adams, and the other night against Switzerland, Andy was driving forward, but he looked to take the negative option and ended up losing it. Now he regained possession and made a good run. He should have been slipped in, but we need him higher up the pitch.
Here's a long ball up to McTominay, over his head, through to the goalkeeper, and people are going to start getting a bit frustrated.
I think they are, and I think they'll be looking at the manager if they say, we need a change here. And you just wonder how long he's going to keep giving this, because it's the same pattern. And
I also wonder though, the players on the pitch can always do a bit more. Like if Steve Clarke's not the one that's maybe, he didn't shoot over the bar there like Shea Adams did, and he didn't just punt the ball aimlessly up the pitch there like whoever it was.
But see, in defence of the players here, I think you're right. Of course everybody can do better, but I think in Germany, the Germany game, the players look nervous. The Switzerland game, they look driven. I think they look almost penned in or held back here. That they're committing very few bodies forward. They're doing okay without really doing anything.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I would describe it, they look flat. to me, Mark. There's not that spark again. Now,
that's good chasing from Shea Adams, wins a throw in.
The one thing you'll get from him is 100%.
The frustrating thing is, though, Gordon, that they look as good as Hungary.
I think Hungary are poor.
That's the frustrating thing.
That's better winning it higher up the pitch, but again a negative pass back to Robertson, who
gives it away, and this could be trouble for Scotland, and maybe it is starting to open up. Scotland's mistakes could be punished. Oh, and Anthony Ralston's missed it. It's come through, it's going to be a shot, and it goes out for a corner. Really slack from Scotland, because they gave it away initially, and you can hear the Hungary fans are getting up for it now, because they sense that Scotland are struggling a bit.
Ralston defended well. The deflection then comes off Henry's arm, but of course it's down by his side. But a couple of mistakes here, one from Robertson one side, then Ralston misses it, and it really opens up, and you can see here behind us what that means to the Hungarian fans.
Yeah, poor one, because it was actually a terrible pass from Hungary. They had messed it up, but Anthony Ralston missed it.
Yeah, and Robertson's been caught twice down the left-hand side. I'm talking about being flat, not the fact that players can do better on there. They've been asked to go to the well. Germany, obviously Switzerland.
Okay, corner, and it's right in on top. It's brilliantly defended. I can't even see if it was McTominay in the end. It was someone who got in there, and if you're looking for positives, I know it doesn't feel like much, but that's a couple of games in a row now. Those situations have been well defended by Scotland. Hopefully they keep that up.
You've got to say, within the tournament, the amount of corner kicks that we've had to face and how we've defended them and had first contact has been hugely impressive. You know, put right onto the 6-yard box, and our big back three and McTominay in there as well have defended it brilliantly.
Interestingly, that Scott McTominay booking, we've got a bit to worry about. First of all, that he would be suspended. If Scotland were to get through, but yes, I know, seems a bit off at the moment, Hugh Keevins, but a blow nevertheless.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the poor quality of this match, and you know, part of the frustration Scotland having one awful shot, as you said, not worth waiting for, is that they're not playing a great team. On what we've seen so far tonight, I go back to my original thought: how did this team qualify for Euro 24 while not losing any of their qualification games? Because even though they have players from Liverpool, Bournemouth, etc., offering nothing.
I think that's the frustration, Mark. You get different types of annoying or frustrating performances. Germany, Scotland were miles off it, but we were also never anywhere near as good as Germany. Scotland look like, as John McGinn burrows forward, he's in the box. John McGinn, he just can't quite find Scott McTominay. Better from Scotland though. Very well done, John McGinn.
So much better, and it looks like he understands that there's nothing happening in this game, so he needs to drag his team up. Does brilliant down the line to beat 2 and 3 players. Good position, and it's well defended, you've got to say, from Hungary, but that's much better.
It's terrific from McGinn. The only thing I'm thinking about being positive here, I look up, McTominay's made a run, and Adams is the only other one that's trying to get in the box. We need to get players forward. We need to start getting players forward.
You think the other night how we got our goal, 6 players in the box?
Exactly. Desire to get in there, Mark. And we've not got that tonight.
That's what I mean. They seem like they're held back, but intentionally. It really does feel like that, and maybe that's just the cagey approach Steve Clarke has taken just to keep us in this game up into the hour mark, but something's got to change.
Oh, Angus Gunn comes, and him and Grant Hanley eventually clean it up, but it was a bit of a nervy one at the back. And surely offside. Yeah, the Hungary player came back from an offside position to get involved.
I was wondering what was going on there, because Hanley did take his time to end up dealing with that. But it's so much better, was it not, from John McGinn, just someone willing to take responsibility and trying to create something rather than playing the safe option from side to side. He thought, no, I'm going to go with this, and we need a wee bit more of that. And then, like Daz says, promoting bodies up to help him.
It'd be nice to even get a small break of something. I notice Billy Gilmour gets to the corner, tries to flash a cross in. Sometimes it feels like when that happens to Scotland, it gets deflected out for a corner.
Yeah,
we're not managing really to get that. The deflections are staying in the pitch almost. I know that's really boring, sort of low percentage stuff. McTominay's edge of the box just can't quite keep it. Shea Adams does well. It's just so scrappy. Hungary can't keep it either, by the way.
Yeah, I think you summed up perfectly there. Scrappy. The game's very scrappy. This is going to be a 1-goal game.
Anthony Ralston cross in, but it's straight to the goalkeeper.
Well, a bit better, by the way. John McGinn, I think, has had a good game. Again, it's into McGinn, who does well to then work it wide. Ralston tries to feed it across the 6-yard line, but the goalkeeper takes it easy. But we're getting excited about just territory higher up the pitch, and that should be a given, really. When we've had so much of the ball, we should be higher up the pitch at times.
I think we need a change to get more players. If we're going to get a bit of
success, here's a change anyway, but it's usually the opposition that go first, and it is.
Yeah,
right on the hour mark, they're going to make a change. No sign of one from Scotland yet. A draw really does nothing for Hungary, so they're the ones that, even more than us, probably need to up it.
Yeah, and you'd expect them to. Now, there's 30 or just under, 30 plus stoppages to go. They have to go for it. They have to open up at some stage. But it's when they do open up, Gordon, do we have the attacking threat to expose it at the minute with the players that's on the pitch? I don't know if we have, especially when you've got 2 games behind you in the legs, and one of those being such a long time with 10 men. I think Steve Clarke really does have to look at his bench now and has to think, how can I get pace, how can I get ball carriers, how can I get creativity into this side? Because we look sound at the back, we look okay there. It's further up the field, we need something else.
We've barely got any ball carriers, though, you have to say. It's just something that the squad lacks. Well, this was why Ben Doak was in the squad.
James Forrest, Stuart Armstrong can certainly carry it. Christie to a certain extent. But, I mean, Stuart Armstrong's just never had a look in this tournament, near's James Forrest. So, is he going to go to them at this stage? I mean, if Kenny McLean's the first change, again, then we're out of here, Daz. We're up the road. Yeah. Because we don't need a Kenny McLean.
Well, it depends if Gilmore tires, though, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I suppose, but he doesn't look like he's tiring because he's not had to do much running. You've got to say, everything's been in the middle of the pitch for him. So,
Kenny McLean's got to come on, score a winner.
Well, if he does, all's forgiven. All's forgiven.
Gilmore to McGinn, and Ralston makes a tentative run, but it's just never really convinced it was going to go there. And then Ralston does lose out, throw in Scotland.
But sometimes, Gordon, you've got to make those runs to move the opposition. Yeah. You've got to. We just can't be playing this static football from side to side and hope to get something.
Oh, it's a nice pass, Scott McKenna. Shea Adams down the side, corner Scotland.
That's better.
The flag's up, I think the flag's up. Nightmare.
But better. That
was a good pass from Scott McKenna.
You know what? It's positive. Scott McKenna's looking up there before he receives it. And
he's just off, I think. But it's
right decision, yeah.
Not bad from Scotland, just a fraction offside.
Yeah, and Robertson keeps his width. Adams sees the opportunity. It's much better.
I can see fingernails getting chewed inside the stadium, Hugh Keevins.
Yeah, but static as we are, they're not much better, Hungary. So we're getting to that point, Gordon, where, as I say, the booth is open for the sale of raffle tickets, and we're getting there now. We're almost 3/4 of the way through the game. What happens in the last quarter will be decisive, and Steve Clarke must be consulting with John Carver now.
Yeah, corner to Hungary, and that's kind of what I meant, Mark. It's a cross from like 35 yards. It hits Anthony Ralston, goes all the way out for a corner.
Yeah,
it puts you under a bit of pressure. We've not managed to get those little slight breaks yet.
No, and we just hope that this doesn't cost us. You're totally right. Everything seems to be kind of working against us, and here it comes.
Oh, this is off the training ground from Hungary. Scotland might have some problems here, but it goes over the bar in the end.
That was well worked, you've got to say, because we're just praising our back line for how well they've defended that 6-yard line, but they miss them out and go all the way around the back, look to get the second ball, and we get away with one there.
You have to love the tactical insight you get. Mrs. Duncan, who's watching back home, who really does not do football. It's just not on her radar at all. Just doesn't do football, but she'll sit down and watch the Euros if Scotland are playing, and the message has come in which says, I feel like Scotland don't ever pass to Scotland.
That's pretty good. She might get a job here, by the way, with that sort of analysis, because it's not much better than ours.
It's hard to argue too much, I have to say. And here come Hungary. Oh no, onto the edge of the box. Can Robertson get across?
Well done, he does. Robertson. He sniffed out the danger there, and it was danger right in the dead edge of the box, and he got in there to make that telling contribution, that telling tackle. But we're causing our own problems here a bit in the last couple of minutes. Again, negative passing, taking the ball at the back, but going backwards. We're almost ending up in our own goal line.
It feels like McTominay's gone a bit higher, Mark, in terms of for those direct balls. It's not really necessarily working, but you know, he seems to be
trying to get up there alongside Adams rather than starting from a deeper position. Yeah, possibly. That's better.
Yeah, that is better from Scotland. It's a nice pass inside. Here goes the long strides of McTominay, but he's trying to take it past 3 players. It's hard for him, no real options, and it is nipped away from him. And this is where it's starting to open up a bit.
The game is opening up.
On one hand, it might suit Scotland. On the other,
might not.
So here come Hungary now. It's got a bit more of an open feel to it. 66 gone in Stuttgart. Still Scotland 0, Hungary 0. Hungary going into this game really have to win it. They've not shown much threat either up until this point, but they're going to have a go at it now. And the ball just hits Andy Robertson and goes out for a throw-in.
It's now at that time that both teams must be looking and thinking, right, this is no good to either team. Somebody has to gamble. Somebody has to start throwing extra men forward, try to get into different areas, try to cause problems, and try to get the all-important goal.
Yeah, the fans here in the venue joined onto the stadium are trying to sing their team to victory. I don't know how much of a desired effect that is going to have, but we'll take anything we can. Hungary are responding though. It's a goalless draw on the fans singing front as well. I have to say, Lawrence Shankland has been called over and is getting ready, Mark Wilson.
Yeah, well, that's positive. That's, I think, what everyone wants in here, in the stadium, at home. I think everyone can clearly see that we need an attacking threat, and why not bring on Scotland's Player of the Year, top goal scorer, to give ourselves every opportunity.
And Armstrong as well.
I was just going to say, if I was changing, I would make a couple of changes. I don't think one's enough. I think it needs a spark. I think it needs something different. I think you need to say to the Hungarians, listen, we're going to try something different here to see if we can catch out. I just don't think a sub centre forward would have made any difference. I'm glad he's bringing on 2 substitutions.
Hold on, defending to do first. We'll maybe reflect on those subs, or the rumour of those subs, in just a second. It's going to be a free kick to Hungary. It's just really clumsy from Grant Hanley. Just no need, Mark. He's got his opponent moving away from goal.
Well, just over-eager there. You know, he is an aggressive defender. I said earlier on, they don't need any invitation to go down, and they go down pretty easily, but this is a dangerous area. Once again, we're conceding too many corners and free kicks for my liking.
Yeah, and we know that man Soboslai's delivery is good. Scotland have defended it well, but can you keep doing that? And this is one of those really precarious ones that's going to be floated in behind. Angus Gunn's going to come, he punches. It's a bit of a mess. Hungary are claiming for a penalty. And Anthony Ralston and Angus Gunn have collided. And there's a Hungary player down. There's all sorts of chaos going on inside that box. Well, a few of them looking baller.
Yeah, Gunn's came a long way there. And I don't know if he gets anything on the ball at all, or is it Ralston? We've yet to see the replay. The concern is the Hungarian player down, and where does the contact come from? And does Gunn wipe him out first? I'm not too sure. That was a dangerous ball.
Yeah, Hugh Keevins, it's not a nice one.
No, it looks a very serious injury for the Hungary player. All, for me, entirely accidental. I don't know if VAR will examine what took place, but for me, it was everyone being earnest in the challenge, and it has resulted in injury, unfortunately, but I don't see a case for a penalty kick.
Well, we need to take another look. Accidental doesn't tend to matter these days, frustratingly, when it's against your team, so we'll have a look and see what the damage is. I hope everyone involved is okay as well. We should stress Angus Gunn is back to his feet. Anthony Ralston not yet. It is a crowded penalty box. All the players, various medical staff, the referee, all involved. Sometimes you can tell because the TV cameras are staying away.
Yeah, and we've not seen a replay here. I mean, my first impressions is Gunn does come a long way, and when you're a goalkeeper, you've got to be sure when you're coming a long way to be able to clear that ball. The one who wants the ball went the other way.
This looks really serious for the Hungary player. Really, really serious.
Yeah.
Like, really, let's remember actually how important football is in the grand scheme of things, because we're all getting held heated up in the midst of this game. Well, there is a VAR check going on as well. So I don't know if this is going to reflect badly on Angus Gunn, but there's a real concern for the Hungary player that's down. There is a VAR check inside the stadium, so in a footballing sense it could get worse for Scotland here.
Yeah, without doubt. When you see the ball going the other direction than from when the goalkeepers came for it, then you start to wonder what's actually taking place there.
Yeah, I don't think we'll find out anytime soon, because it's going to be a lengthy delay. There's a very serious injury situation brewing for one of the Hungary players who's down. Teammates forming a ring around him, and some sort of blankets being held up. We can't really see, but we're going to get a look at the incident for the first time. So,
well, Gunn gets the ball.
Angus Gunn punches the ball. I'm not really sure how that is going to end in a penalty, I have to say. But then there's a double situation going on here, because
it looks really
the
bad.
Hungary player looks in real trouble.
There looks to be, I'm looking at it, it looks to be a cover put round from both sides, so that the cameras are shielded.
Can't see anything, which is never good.
No, not at all. And we've yet to see, we saw Angus Gunn make contact with the ball that diverts that way, but we didn't see the actual contact on the player from anybody else. I wonder if it was another Scotland player. Is it Ralston that makes contact, because Ralston ends up injured?
Yeah. Ralston just seems to be underneath it all, though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The Hungary players look a bit distressed, as you might be, because your teammate is in a lot of discomfort and pain.
Yeah, it's I mean, the last Euros we had an unfortunate situation with Christian Eriksen, and you know, this is taking a long time.
Yeah, very serious one. I think the Hungary substitutes have got their head in their hands, some of them covering their face with their tracksuit tops. Angus Gunn and Callum McGregor just having a bit of a conversation as well. Angus Gunn saying, "I got the ball, I'm a good lip reader," and he certainly did, but you know, that doesn't necessarily mean I don't know if there's is there pulling involved as well? Is that a foul before? That's the thing, there's so much going on inside that penalty box, and the VAR situation hasn't been cleared up yet. A really uncertain moment for us, but clearly that's not the priority here.
I think we go back to the human side of this situation, Gordon. They're clearly, we will get to the football when we have to, but clearly there, and there's no point in speculating the nature of the injury, what it might be, but the Hungarian players, Marco Rossi, the manager, everyone is in a state of alarm, and this game will be held up for a very long time, and there are players who are shocked by what they have seen. It's all very distressing, and it will cast a shadow over the remainder of the match. We've all seen it before in football games. When something of this nature takes place, the game is never the same thereafter.
Applause all round as the player is taken off on a stretcher. I think it's Varga who went down in that very congested box. Varga, he's still been covered up so that people can't see and maintain a bit of respect and dignity, I guess. That's the aim in this situation. Scotland fans and Hungary fans uniting in applause as he's taken away, and it goes without saying that we hope a speedy recovery. It does look like a serious one, a serious collision. We've not really reached the outcome, I don't think, of the VAR decision. And actually, Brian Gunn shown in the stands there, father of Angus. It did look like Angus Gunn came and punched the ball. Based on the one replay we've seen, that's what it looked like. He clearly clatters into a check over, no penalty. So in that regard, that's a sigh of relief. I want to word this carefully because I don't want to get the tone wrong. We hope the Hungary player's okay. In a footballing sense, Mark, on we go.
Yeah, without doubt, a real bad one. But now the game is just about to restart. 2 Hungarian changes coming on. So again, it's another throw of the dice for them. Obviously, one replacing Varga, who's gone off,
and Adam, who's coming on, is an absolute mountain.
Look at his shoulders in that lad.
Yeah.
So obviously one forced and one tactical change from Hungary. I'm looking at the clock, and I know there's a big stoppage. Surely Steve Clarke must be looking to think, yeah, I'm going to get these subs on as quick as I possibly can.
He doesn't look like a footballer, does he?
He is.
He looks more like a weightlifter.
I think he's going to be a
good
handful.
at kicking the ball. He is going to be. So perhaps they go a bit more direct now, because you just look at the makeup of Adam and you think, well, why wouldn't you? He looks like he's got that strength. But we clearly need to change something. You know, there's been a long stoppage here.
Well, to be fair, we were about to.
And
it's been stopped for so long, so it does have a kind of knock-on effect.
Why not do the change then? You know, the players are stripped and ready to come on.
Yeah.
But just make the change.
Yeah, I think
they always seem to be hanging on for something.
They are going to. I suppose they're waiting to find out if that was a penalty against Scotland, though, as well, and whether that changes anything.
I wouldn't have martyred anyway, because you need to change something in an attacking point of view.
So Shankland and Armstrong finally ready. I don't know what the delay is.
Here it comes.
Oh, Andy Robertson's not really taking possession when he should have. And Hungary have it near the edge of the box. Oh, it's missed again.
Surely.
At the back post, and Scotland look. Oh, Soboslai's danced his way through. He stands one up, well defended. And a free kick to Scotland. Well done, Jack Hendry.
Thought it was a handball in the build-up from Adam when it came through. Robertson misses it.
It's a
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Handball, yeah. Yeah, use his hand. But Scotland need to get a change on. They need to get Armstrong and Shankland on now.
Yeah, there's going to be a long delay to this. I know it looks like there's just over 10 minutes left, but it will be a good bit more than that for Shankland and Armstrong. And it's John McGinn who comes off.
I'm surprised at that.
For Stuart Armstrong.
I'm surprised at that. I really am. Look, McGinn's not been very into
Shea Adams off as well for Shankland.
Yeah, well, I think that was just a straight swap situation. But McGinn
he's having his best game.
Yeah.
I can't farm that one out for me.
I'm surprised at the lack of Christie, Mark, considering he's like the one that's always closest to the starting 11.
Yeah, well, and considering he started the first game, nobody played well that, but I'm surprised that we've not seen him again.
Oh, it's a ropey moment at the back, but again, Hungary are not any better in possession.
Right, this is where we've got to expose them. We've got to be quick and play forward passes here. They've committed bodies further up.
Gilmore to McTominay, corner of the box, tries to wrap it into the feet, and that's a good idea though, and it's going to be a corner to Scotland.
But there's a positive. I look at the box now. There are 4 of our players getting in the box trying to cause problems.
So, corner to Scotland. The set-piece delivery has not been great. Still waiting for that first shot on target, remarkably, with 77 gone.
Well, I said that the hero might be sitting on the bench, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. It's either Armstrong or Shankland.
It's going to be a flighted delivery out the way, though, from Scott McTominay, and there's players down in the box. The referee actually does let it play on, and it wasn't a good delivery. Oh, and Billy Gilmore, so unlike him. Someone might need to take one for the team here.
Yeah, need to watch it on up.
Angus Gunn's going to come and get that all fine in the end.
But again, it comes from our poor set-piece taking.
Set-piece has been so poor.
I mean, you think you can rely on him to put the ball in the money. Not he feels as well. There's still a bit to go. But I think we've been poor tonight. We've kept the ball without doing anything with it. We've been careless. I think Robertson's been poor on the left-hand side, made a couple of mistakes. I think Adams was poor. We've not been at our peak, but we might just still get away with this.
If we can't get this over the line tonight, I think we'll look back in time and think this is a massive, massive miss for us.
What about the absolute weirdo technical staff we've got ordering cheesecakes
by the way,
while
why
we're on the show?
Just
absolutely bizarre.
Never mind that.
Scotland are in, but penalty, surely a penalty. Referee says no. Incredible decision. Stuart Armstrong goes down. We'll get another look at it, hopefully on the VAR, but it'll have to go down as a clear and obvious error for that to be given. Very surprised, I have to say, because he was in mark. He was the other side of the defender.
Well, I think Armstrong's sure that he's been impeded there. It looked like he was just going to take the shot, and the defender either. We need to see the replay. Either gets it spot on, or it's got to be looked at.
I don't think there's any question about the ball here. We'd really need to see it again. Let's not get too biased before we've seen it, but I have to say, Gordon, Armstrong was completely the right side for us and wrong side for Hungary.
And for once we start that positive run, get people going forward. It's a terrific run, and I've got to say, like you guys sitting here, it looked a penalty kick to me.
Well, let's get the ball out of play, please, so that we can have a look at it, because we've not had the chance yet.
Yeah,
but it was better for Scotland, more positive, going forward. Armstrong bursting forward, causing them problems, good ball through. I don't know if this referee's made it, if he's made the right call here.
We're going to see it again, so we're getting a look. McTominay threads it through, and Armstrong gets the break. He's completely the right side of the defender. How can that not be a penalty? That simply has to be a penalty. And I know I'm biased,
but his knee goes into the back of Armstrong.
That is a penalty all day long. Any level of football, surely.
Well, it's got to.
Surely.
His knee goes into the back of Armstrong's calf.
Come on.
Now it must be getting checked. There's got to be getting checked, because.
No, that is incredible. Wow, that is a horrendous decision.
That's a stonewall penalty kick.
I don't
that is the worst
that.
decision in this tournament by a country mile.
Wow.
Can I take you back to the words I said? He's a wrong'un.
Yeah, you're 100% spot on.
But the VAR operator,
that is incredible.
Surely has to look at that and surely has to say to the referee, at least it's worth him going to have a look at the screen.
Genuinely incredible. I know there's a bit of Scotland bias here, but that has to be a penalty every day of the week. And the cross comes in and Andy Robertson heads it away. Gordon, even right, okay, try and make the case as to why that's not given.
I can't go.
Unless it was Armstrong offside. No,
I don't think so.
No, I've got to say I can't make a case. I don't know what the referee's thinking there.
Oh, in Scotland they've got defending to do. Angus Gunn's going to come and get it.
That is a Stonewall penalty kick. It's a penalty kick. In anybody's book, that is a penalty kick for Scotland.
Mark, you can almost see Armstrong's legs shudder when the contact comes on the back of his knee.
Well, without doubt. I mean, he's in a position ready to shoot. The defender, I've been there before, you're absolutely desperate, you know you're out of position, you need to make contact, and his knee goes into the back of Armstrong's just above the calf, and it impedes him. It stops him taking the shot, and Armstrong spins right. It is a penalty kick. I'm trying to think why it wouldn't be given.
Hugh Keevins, are we missing something?
No, not at all. It was perfectly obvious, but the referee very, very quickly said no, and even more strangely, there's been nothing done to correct the referee.
Truly baffling. Scotland haven't been great, but they've been really hard done by here. Scotland should have had at least an opportunity to open the scoring here from the penalty spot. There is no question about it. And sometimes, Mark, this might not impact the ref, but the biggest telltale sign, the Hungarian fans next to us cannot believe it.
Yeah, all celebrating, because I think, like everyone, when we saw the replay, well, when we saw it in real time, we all thought it was a penalty. We see it in the replay, it's definitely a penalty, and they were the same as us, so look, we can't let it derail us.
It's a good pass, Billy Gilmore. Now Shanklin's in behind. And it's not
offside. He's offside.
Yeah, I thought Shanklin may be off.
Yeah, offside.
But by the way,
slipped into the box.
It's better right away with the two changes. Shanklin, Armstrong, you can see we've been better.
Not sure that is offside, by the way.
It wouldn't have been offside, I think, if that was checked.
I'm not sure that was offside, but there we go. It's been better from Scotland, this.
Yeah, it's been more positive. We've got more energy. Here's another two subjects.
Ryan Christie and Kenny McLean coming on.
Man, he loves Kenny McLean.
Right, so
McLean was good when he came on against Switzerland. Billy Gilmore, he often runs his race.
Yeah. Well, he's been okay tonight. He's had plenty of touches.
And Ralston.
Oh, wow.
This is a big change.
Steve Clark.
So Christie.
I'd have to say Steve Clark now knows in his own mind that it's the departure lounge tomorrow, unless he makes the radical changes and goes for it now. Now is go for it time.
Is that a right back with Jack Hendry? A back four with Jack Hendry right back?
Possibly. So a change of the full system. It looks like Henry could be.
Must be something like that
out there, because he wouldn't know. Well, Ryan Christie's taking up a position there, right? Surely when they play him right wing back.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. A back four at the moment, says Andrew Maclean, who's there in the stadium. Scotland are upping it here. They've probably been the better side in the latter stages of this second half. Certainly should have had a penalty. That ball from Andy Robertson, it's just asking far too much, and it goes through to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, but since the changes have come, Gordon, especially first ones, they've been positive, but obviously it opens us up at the back a little bit, so we've got to be careful that we don't concede.
Yeah, the Hungry fans fancy this as well. It is in the balance still. It's a great ball in, well defended at the back post. Well defended, Jack Hendry. He's been really good over the last couple of games, hasn't he?
He has been. You know, he certainly has the attributes. It's just sometimes the concentration, and sometimes he gives up possession, but defending his box, he's been terrific. I wonder, is it more a 4? I was going to say more a 4-3-3, but McTominay's right up there alongside Shanklin.
And here goes Ryan Christie trying to take it a run. There's just no one in front of him, so when he inevitably runs into trouble, it does leave Scotland a little bit exposed.
Well, the game's certainly opened up now, and both teams know that 0-0 is no good to either. So, are we going to get a winner?
And he's going to check back in here. Armstrong can't get there. Back post, Andy Robertson needs to deal with it, and he does. For now, though, it's only just outside the box. Some of the Scotland players look tired.
Andy Robertson looks like he couldn't get out there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a sore one. It's going to be a foul, surely in Scotland's favour.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking tired. the Scotland players, but you can't go out with a whimper. You need to find energy from somewhere to try and get us further up the pitch, to create opportunities, because it looked better when Shankland come on and Armstrong come on for those few minutes. And this game is going to open up. Hungary are going to go for it as well.
I'm seeing suggestions maybe was Armstrong holding the jersey of the opposition player, but I mean, I still can't understand he's in front of him.
That's a Stonewall penalty kick. That is 100% for me.
I mean, Armstrong gets his body in front. He does with his arm high. Stuart Armstrong, is that maybe it?
Maybe.
Still a penalty.
Not for me, but his left arm does go into the kind of neck area, but just to protect the ball, it's not intentional.
I don't think you can make a case. That is a penalty kick.
Because he's completely the wrong side, the defender, isn't he? I'm really amazed.
I think that's 100%.
You know, we've praised the refereeing at this tournament. The standards have been okay across the board, pretty good at times, and slick use of VAR. Not really sure how you would justify that one. And another delay in play, Hugh, because Grant Hanley's got a head knock. Yeah, it's a scrappy end to it all. I think we'll wait for the signal of how many more minutes are to be added on. I suspect there could be 8, 9, 10 minutes added on.
Yeah.
You know, yes, it's scrappy. For a match of this importance, it's very, very low in quality. It's going to be decided, if it's decided at all, one way or the other, by a goal that's probably as scrappy as the game.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it, with 86 gone, albeit a big stoppage. That'll be the frustrating thing, Mark, if we can't get this over the line. They should be better than us. They're ranked higher than us. They qualified really well. They certainly don't look it.
No, not on tonight's performance. So then we've got to make that work in our favour, and we've got to create. And I don't think we have tonight. We've never put them under any serious pressure to really test them at the back. I think if this ends like this, or ends even worse, then that'll be the reflection. We'll be looking at that saying it was a really, big opportunity miss. But there's still time.
Yeah, ball goes long. We do have those fresh legs on. Hopefully Christie or Armstrong can create something. Armstrong trying to wriggle. It's just, there is no space anywhere, it feels like. And when there is space, it tends to lead to a misplaced pass.
Yeah, well, look, we need to get our players who have just come on the ball, and play to their strengths. Christie with the ball at his feet, Armstrong running, powerful runner. But we just can't seem to string together any passes. Players are looking tired, going both ways.
Wow, here's a change. Lewis Morgan for Andy Robertson.
He looks done, Robertson.
Yeah,
he does look done.
I agree with you.
Kenny McLean to left back, maybe,
yeah, who knows.
Yeah.
Lewis Morgan called up late after Ben Doak and Lyndon Dykes. It'd be a worry even if Andy Robertson looks really struggling.
Yeah, I think he must have picked up a knock.
Limping heavily. Lewis Morgan going to come on for only his third Scotland cap. It's years, 2018 I think, last time he got one.
What a story this could be.
Incredible.
What a story this could be.
Yeah, it looks like they're playing a left back, Mark.
Yeah, well, it's an enforced change, of course. But I don't mind it. I don't think Robertson was given as much up that left side tonight.
Shankland's done well. Shankland's done very well to keep it in, but then he loses out. And again, it's so typical. It's a clean tackle. We don't get the break of the ball. The referee, again.
He's been conned with this all night.
Scott McKenna goes up for the aerial ball. Hungary player goes down. Free kick inside the Hungary half. 89 gone. There will be a long stoppage here. There was that very nasty injury. And Scotland need to defend here, but Hungary don't really at the moment, touch wood, famous last words and all that, they don't look like creating much either.
Nah, they don't look like scoring at all. They look dead in their feet as well, and anything it's up our end is a hopeful ball back to Angus Gunn. The game is there for us to win this. It really is. We're not hanging on, we're not, biting our fingernails here.
I mean, I thought Lawrence Shankland's shirt was being pulled, but the free kick's gone the other way. There's one Hungary fan in particular, he's quite annoying, him, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing my head.
Yeah, he's quite annoying, but it looks quite scary, so we'll just leave him to it. It's Hungary, and it's a big let-off. Angus Gunn makes the save. It was a save you'd expect him to make, but at least it's a shot at goal, which is more than we're managing.
Yeah, but just needed to close that down a wee bit quicker. McKenna backing off. As soon as you back off into the box, you're inviting a shot. Angus Gunn, easy save for him, but it's a corner kick we need to face now. It's a danger.
10 minutes added.
Thought they would.
Corner to Hungary.
Scotland defend it. Oh, but it's the second ball and it goes wide. 10 minutes added, Hugh. It was bound to be, wasn't it?
It's almost like, here's your second chance. Can you take it? You've got another 10 minutes against a side who are no great shakes. Can you take it? And I agree with Gordon Dalziel. In our long and illustrious and occasionally wacky history, a guy who hadn't played for Scotland for 6 years and who plays his football in New York City, could he be the one?
Well, he's chasing hard up there, but the Hungary goalkeeper's able just to kick it long.
We've got a problem in the left side.
A real problem here. It's a great challenge. Grant Hanley, brilliant tackle, but he's still a bit out of position.
Yeah, but he had to make that tackle.
Oh, no, there's a Hanley-shaped hole. And here's Soboslai into the box. Angus Gunn saves. Oh, let off for Scotland.
Well, I was just saying moments ago that they don't look like scoring, and they've had a couple of chances, and that one's one of the biggest openings that we've seen. Scotland just opened wide, and then another chance.
Oh, Hungary's header goes just wide. It was a strange one. It was slow. Didn't look like it was causing any problems. It's offside anyway.
Well, I'll try it. Scotland don't look like scoring them. Let's see if that works. If that works. Well, it's these Hungarian fans up in here.
Kenny McLean carries it a long way and passes it out the pitch. Hugh Keevins, this is getting very frustrating.
Well, yes, we are living on our nerves, and the Hungarian side are really, really coming into this.
Oh no. Scotland are in trouble. Scotland in deep trouble. Oh, it's in the post. It's a let-off for Scotland. Scotland's Euro hopes hanging by a thread here.
Well, he's got to score. He's got to score.
His touch kills him. His touch absolutely kills him.
He still should score.
We are taking riding our luck to the status of an Olympic event now.
This is nervy, to say the least, Mark Wilson.
Oh, wow, without doubt, as Germany equalise.
Now it's getting exciting.
Scotland cannot keep the ball here. This is real trouble. Hungary come forward again. It's Soboslai. He's dancing. Back to Angus Gunn. Nothing doing, hopefully. Soboslai thought he should have had a penalty. But Scotland cannot keep this ball. Can Stuart Armstrong conjure something? There's no one in front of him.
Yes, we've got a chance now.
Free kick Scotland if they can take it quickly. But they don't seem to be in any hurry. They want to lump it into the box, a tactic that's not worked all night, Mark Wilson.
Hopefully it can work in time.
Yeah, surprised though. I think you put your hand on that, a quick free kick, you've got players outside you.
Yeah, you would think so, but tired minds now, Gordon, maybe not thinking as sharply as they would have done early on in the game.
Believe me, my mind's tired.
Look, we've not seen much invention from Scotland, these set pieces, and it's looking like that this is going to take on the same form. It looks like it's going to be a hopeful one in. Let's just hope that one eventually falls to us.
So this is getting to crunch time. 3 minutes gone, 10 added in total, so about another 7. Germany have equalised. Stuart Armstrong has it. He's going to try and cross it. It's so poor. But here's Callum McGregor, edge of the box. McGregor, cannons off a Hungary defender. It looked like a good hit from Callum McGregor.
He caught it clean, didn't he?
Ryan Christie's been quiet, floats one in. It's too far for Shanklin. Goal kick is slipping away from Scotland here.
Yeah, and you know, we've thrown the dice, we've put on the attacking players, but they've not really had an effect. And if anything, we should be behind in this game.
4 minutes of the 10 Hugh played.
Yeah, but the last 5 minutes will seem like a lifetime if you're going for a goal. As I say, we have taken riding our luck to the status of an Olympic event, but we are still in. We have the puncher's chance, as do Hungary, but somebody has the puncher's chance to take this in what would be the last round of a 12-rounder.
That's exactly what it's like. It's like two boxers who have been cagey and then been told you have one round to go for it. And, you know, it certainly looked like Hungary are the strongest chance at the minute.
Yeah, it's a throw-in to Hungary just down in front of the technical area. I think Grant Hanley came across with that left foot and just swept it out for a throw-in. I wonder if that's a foul on Kenny McLean. Surely. The referee spots it eventually. It was so late the referee had looked the other way.
And it's amazing when you look at the other game, you know, one each. Germany, it's scraping a 1-1 draw. They are getting in the 91st minute equaliser, and where we were against Switzerland, we had opportunities to win it in the last few minutes against the Swiss, and now we've struggled here, a 0-0.
If we don't win this, we're going to look back in time and think this was the best chance that we will
it was there for the taking, isn't it?
All night long, and we've just not once again risen to the challenge.
Angus Gunn's going to go long. We don't have loads of aerial presence up there, though. They seem to win most of those headers and second balls, and now Scotland are having to defend. It just seems, and it's poor from Hungary all the way through to Angus Gunn. It has got 0-0 written all over it, but maybe you get one of those.
We need a hero, Gordon. We need someone to pop up and just become a national hero.
It will be the greatest goal in Scotland's history if we do manage to get one here in 4 minutes. I don't care how it goes in.
But these aerial balls, long mark, are not working.
It's just Route 1 percentage football, looking for something to 48. It's not been good enough all night.
That's a nice goal from Jack Henry. Scotland, you get men in here. Oh, it's a huge chance for Scott McTominay inside the box.
How has he missed the chance?
That was it. That was the chance. I wonder if a flag was going to go up. But
I
think a flag was maybe going to go up in the end. McTominay's 4 yards out. The flag did go up. But it's still it would have been a huge chance. We thought it was a huge chance.
You know what? I'd rather they missed it then. So I'm disappointed.
I'm the same.
But
you couldn't have lived with that.
But how much better was that? Lewis Morgan running in behind and a ball down the side rather than everything in front.
Oh no, Hungary are going to shoot from distance. It goes wide.
Yeah.
But 3 minutes left for Scotland, Hugh.
Well, I live in hope. As I say, there are chances that will present themselves, and it's a long time to go yet.
It's finished. Germany 1, Switzerland 1 in the other game. But we've got major issues. Lawrence Shankland, can he bring it under? He can. It's really tidy footwork, Lawrence Shankland.
We've got men forward.
Here we go. We've got men forward on the edge of the box. Can he get a shot away? Stuart Armstrong's there though. It's a bad decision. Stuart Armstrong just tried to find Lewis Morgan, who's been good since he's come on.
Very good. Yeah. That's what we're saying moments ago. He's positive. He makes runs in behind. We've managed to work out the pitch, but that was another opportunity. Went begging.
2 minutes away from either glorious failure or one of the most famous goals and moments in Scottish football history. If it comes, it falls, edge of the box. Christie can't really fashion a shooting chance. Everyone just makes sure they're onside. It slipped through. McTominay. It's Grant Hanley. It's saved. The flag stays down. What's he thinking? It's a terrible decision. He's just crossed it into the goalkeeper's arms. You do not want your big chance to fall to Grant Hanley. He doesn't do loads wrong. He goes the goalkeeper's side. Scotland could have won it. They could have won it.
What an opportunity. Putting them under pressure. Falls to Hanley. You're right, he doesn't do much wrong. Gets in target, but lack of power maybe. If it's a Shankland or an Armstrong, you're probably putting it higher into the top corner and it's maybe a goal.
I think Ryan Christie can't quite keep that in.
Is there one more chance in this?
Is that our moment gone?
I think a free kick was actually given there.
Was it?
In amongst that incident, I think.
Well, the last 10-15 minutes has been more exciting than the first 65-70.
It's no coincidence, though, it's when the changes come, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They've been
right, Lawrence Shankland has it in a wide right position, but the cross is...
It's a great ball.
It's a great ball.
It's back across. Any penalty shout? No. Handball? I don't think so.
For a penalty.
No, he's not giving a penalty.
Referee's already saying his hands were by his side. VAR could take a look, of course.
I was with you, Gordon. I thought it was too long.
Yeah, hits him in the stomach.
Yeah.
Grant Hanley was down with cramp, but there's one set piece. This could be it. 9 minutes added. Can Scotland come up with something famous? Sure, Armstrong is going to be the man to deliver the corner. Is there a hero in dark blue? The cross comes in from Armstrong. It's a bit deep. It's headed back into the air. Hanley's under it. Callum McGregor. No, now Hungary. Go on the counter. Bring him down. You might have to bring him down.
Well done, Lewis Morgan.
We've committed and Hungary are in here. 10 minutes of additional time played. It's cut back and it's a goal for Hungary. And Scotland's Euro dream is over. The Hungarian fans erupt here in Stuttgart. and Scotland's Euros is over. 100 minutes played here in Stuttgart. A counter-attack from Scotland's best period of the game, and that is that. Scotland 0, Hungary 1, and it is all over. Mark Wilson.
Heartbreak, absolute heartbreak for Scotland, the Tarn Army, the players, the manager, committed bodies forward, looking for a winner, and we've been picked off cruelly at the other end. Our Euros is over as you see the fans traipsing away. Oh, it could not get any worse.
Yeah, it's heartbreak, Gordon. Absolutely heartbreak. There was a great opportunity for us tonight. We made the substitutions, we threw men forward. It was our set play. We looked like we could score. They broke up the park, they picked us off, they picked the right passes, and unfortunately, we're going home.
Oh, there's an offside shout here.
Maybe not.
There's an offside claim here. I don't know if it's going to be, but there is an offside claim here on that goal against Hungary. So we'll need to take a look at it and see if it stands. I think it is going to be the length of time that this has been going on for, I have to say.
Yeah,
but it did look offside. It looked a bit offside, actually.
It looked offside to me when I seen it.
Yeah, it just looked like his foot went too soon. Christie actually tries to play offside. So,
yeah, it's a real sore one for Scotland, I have to say, but probably haven't done enough on the night. Deserved a draw, I think, out of the game.
They'll certainly deserve a draw. There's no
I don't think that Hungary deserved to win.
No.
If you put it that way. But look, I think Hugh was right. It was always going to be that kind of game.
Yeah, goal stands. I'd like to see that again, but obviously they've got the automated stuff here, so it'll be right. And that'll be that. I think game over, as is Scotland's Euros. Scotland 0, Hungary 1. A goal in the 100th minute has ended Steve Clarke's side's Euros. 1 point on the board, not good enough, and heading home, Hugh Keevins.
We will look back on the Stuart Armstrong penalty incident, but we should not say that was what separated Scotland from victory on the night. We simply were not good enough. We rode our luck. Hungary hit the post, as well as snatching that goal at the very end. It has been a campaign that began with misery in Munich, built up hope in Cologne, and is now collapsed in Stuttgart. I don't think we did enough overall in the 3 games to merit anything other than the departure lounge tomorrow.
Full-time Andrew Maclean in the stadium.
Scotland 0, Hungary 1, the full-time score in the Stuttgart Arena. When that full-time whistle went, the Hungary substitutes flooding onto the pitch to celebrate with their supporters. The Scotland players, head in hands, down on their haunches. Angus Gunn fell on his back with his head in his hands. Steve Clarke now walking around consoling the Scotland players, who are absolutely dejected. Their involvement in Euro 2024 is over. An injury time goal from Kevin Soboff right at the death means it's home time for Steve Clarke's men and the Tartan Army. They're staying behind, they're applauding, they're having a real moment with the players at the moment because they want to show their appreciation. But it is over for Scotland. Scotland will be heading home from Germany. It's been quite a couple of weeks for the team, for the supporters. They've had a great time, but their involvement will end. There were some big moments in the game. One of the biggest was when Stuart Armstrong went down in the box. He was played through. His heel was caught by the knee of the defender. It looked like it should have been a certain penalty, not given at the time, not given by VAR. Certainly one that people will look back on, as this result didn't go Scotland's way. And then cruel right at the death. Hungary had some chances, Scotland had some chances as well, but right at the death, Scotland hit on the break, as they had been done a few times in this game. Hungary were allowing them possession, but this time they managed to find the back of the net. It was worked down the right all the way over to the left, and there was Kevin Soboff to break the hearts of the Scotland fans in here. As I say, they're still in there, they're applauding the players, but the players can't quite believe it. It is over. Scotland will be heading home from Euro 2024. So will the Tartan Army. The full-time score in Stuttgart is Scotland 0, Hungary 1.
The big picture tells you little more than failure, Mark Wilson. You can't really polish a campaign that ends with 1 point from 3 games, just as the previous Euros did, actually. but on a night like this, you're just reminded of what those fine margins are in football.
Yeah, it's the cruelest way to lose a game. And when you analyse the game, and when Steve Clark picks the bones out of it in the days and weeks to come, he'll understand that he could, if he was more positive, we could have had a better opportunity to win that. We were too tentative and allowed Hungary to come into the game. That's the most disappointing thing for me there. We allowed the Hungarians to build up a head of steam, and even in the second half, where it looked like nothing was happening at times, we allowed them to build some pressure, and at least they had some shots and goal, and at least Angus Gunn made some saves. And then it's too late. We throw on attacking players and we create some chances. We get up the pitch, but it's the cruelest ways to lose it. You even look at how we lost the goal. Could Callum McGregor have got that under control quicker? Could he have got anything off quicker? Was it just tired legs? Christie, is it laziness trying to play off it? Anyway, we'll pick over the goal in the days and weeks to come, but just so cruel how it's panned out for us.
I think we gave ourselves great hope going into the game tonight after Switzerland, but if you analyse it over the 3 games in the tournament, we weren't good enough. You can look at Switzerland. I praised them for it was a result to keep this alive tonight. Performance-wise, Switzerland probably had better chances, could put us to bed and put us out of the tournament early. Tonight we had a great opportunity. We were playing, and you can talk about rankings all you want, that's not a good Hungarian team to me tonight, right? They didn't play particularly well. They were boring, they were stuffy, they built themselves into the game. When the game opened up, they caught us in the counter-attack. We have missed a terrific opportunity tonight, and that's why the Tartan Army, fair play to them, they come over here, they supported in huge numbers, they've been absolutely brilliant. That even with the disappointment, standing there applauding the players, I don't think we've done enough.
Yeah, what do you think at home then? 01419511025. Tough to take. Scotland find ways of disappointing you over the years. This was a new one. Yes, we're back at international tournaments, which we weren't for a while, but they're not going anywhere at the moment. So what do you think? 01419511025, and we'll speak to you next.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Lookers Audi. Looking to sell your Audi? Contact them today for a no-obligation quotation.
I love history podcasts. I was listening to one about the suffrage movement, and it got me thinking about my great nan. With Ancestry, we discovered she'd been arrested and imprisoned with other suffragettes. They've got her voting records and even examples of her protesting on the census. It made my family so proud.
Bring your backstory to life. Get a free 2-week trial of a full membership at ancestry.co.uk. Renews automatically from $10.99 per month unless cancelled.
Sal's given her home a camouflage makeover. Lovely. She paid for it with a new Barclaycard Platinum credit card, so she'll pay no interest on purchases for up to 21 months, helping her spread her costs. Now she's found a way to pay for her makeover. Sadly, she can't find anything else. Where's my phone? Where's the door? What you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. Check if you're eligible at barclaycard.co.uk. Barclaycard. Make money work for you. Representative example, 24.9% APR representative variable, 24.9% purchase rate per annum variable based on £1,200 credit limit. Subject to application, financial circumstances and borrowing history. New customers only. T's and C's and exclusions apply. Sal's given her home a camouflage makeover. Lovely. She paid for it with a new Barclaycard Platinum credit card, so she'll pay no interest on purchases for up to 21 months, helping her spread her costs. Now she's found a way to pay for her makeover. Sadly, she can't find anything else. Where's my phone? Where's the door? What you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. Check if you're eligible at barclaycard.co.uk. Barclaycard. Make money work for you. Representative example, 24.9% APR representative variable, 24.9% purchase rate per annum variable based on £1,200 credit limit. Subject to application, financial circumstances and borrowing history. New customers only. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
As Claire entered the kitchen, the mere sight of Gary standing there engulfed her in a wave of excitement. Their eyes locked immediately, and she knew that in a matter of minutes, she'd be in for the steamiest night ever. Gary leaned in close, and Claire could feel his breath caress her skin as he softly whispered, "What would you prefer, love? Bird's Eye Steam Fresh vegetables, rice, or one of their new pasta meals?" The Bird's Eye Steam Fresh range. Goodness, that's steamy.
The Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast.
With Lookers Land Rover. Looking to sell your Land Rover Rover? Contact them today for a no-obligation quotation.
Hi, I'm John McGinn on Clyde 1. Hi, I'm Andrew Maclean. This is Clyde 1 Super Scoreboard.
This is Scotland versus Hungary.
The Duncan only goes crazy!
Live from Stuttgart, this is Clyde 1 Super Scoreboard.
Well, that was tough to take. Scotland have dished out a few disappointments over the years. You can add this to the list. A Euros that promised so much in terms of colour and atmosphere and noise and backing, but delivered fairly little on the pitch as well. And in the cruelest fashion, a 100th minute goal from Hungary sends Scotland home to think again and have a look at where we go from here. So what did you make of it? 01419511025 on the phones, or live reaction here as well. This is sensational from Joe in Bishop Briggs, who's joined us already because he was actually at the game. He must have sprinted out to come down and see us. Joe, how does it feel? Sum up the feelings. You're still smiling, which I'm surprised at.
I'm not. Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Just totally gutted.
Where did it go wrong?
I don't know, boys. Was it a penalty? I thought it was a penalty. Right in front of me, I thought it was a penalty.
You were in the game, you say right in front of you, thought it was a penalty. I think we would all obviously, agree, Mark Wilson.
Yeah, well, we've seen it several times, and I'm still scratching my head at the minute to find out why it wasn't a penalty. Now, we know VAR looks at everything, and they would have looked at that, but again, why wasn't it given? Was it because Armstrong's arm was a bit high when he was trying to protect the ball for the defender? I don't think that's enough to then say that the contact on his calf wasn't a foul. For me, it was simply a penalty. We're so hard done by. We didn't create much, but when we did get in there, we certainly should have been given the opportunity from 12 yards to take the lead.
I agree. I can't farm out why the penalty kick wasn't given, Gordon. Then we had to go for it. It was a great saying, have to go for it. 0-0 probably. Okay, a point could have got us there, but I thought that we better be positive, go for it. Both teams went for it. We get caught in a sucker punch, and unfortunately it's the end of our Euros. But I really am disappointed because I think we've missed a trick tonight.
Yeah, Hugh, having seen it back, at home, did it look like a penalty to you?
Well, they're going over it on television here, and clearly they're coming up with a conclusion that they're not entirely sure whether Armstrong might have fouled the Hungarian player as much as the Hungarian player might have fouled Armstrong. But I have to say, Gordon, if we're going to pin all our hopes on we would have won had that been a penalty, then I don't think that's accurate, because you go back over the chances that Hungary had, they hit the post before they scored and so on and so forth. I think in general terms, over the course of this tournament, and we may have gone out in the great Scottish fashion, we have snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. However, we have not done enough, and for the second major international tournament back to back, I cannot formulate a hard luck story out of all of this.
No, the thing is, they can be separate. You're allowed to say that was a penalty, Scotland were hard done by, and the tournament wasn't good enough overall. It doesn't have to be that you're not allowed to complain about the penalty because you think we've not been good enough. I mean, our show revolves week on week about fans moaning about decisions their team didn't get. So we're not going to all of a sudden pretend that they don't matter.
No, I think you're right. Listen, I'm going to moan the fact that it wasn't a penalty, because I think it was all about the result tonight, never mind the performance. But when you flip it and you analyse it over the 3 games, we haven't been good enough. It's as simple as that. We have not been good enough. But my biggest disappointment is we put ourselves in a position, and tonight there was an opportunity there to go and really cement our place in history here. And we've failed at the hurdle again, and I think that's where the disappointment's coming from. I watched a Hungary team beat us that I was not really impressed with at all.
There was so few positives, to pick on from your point of view, that the penalty incident becomes such a huge one. I always believed that whoever lost the first goal in that...
We said it all along. It's not like that's hindsight. We said one goal wins this game.
Yeah, without doubt. And that penalty situation then becomes huge for us, because we weren't creating anything until then. So I've seen it several times. For me, it's still a penalty kick. I don't think Stuart Armstrong does an awful lot wrong. And I'm surprised as anybody, and I'm sure a lot of people will be with me in that one.
But Joe, overall, it clearly wasn't good enough. If the league doesn't lie domestically, the league table in a group stage doesn't really lie. Bottom of that group out. What do we feel about it overall?
I think we've just been Scotland and shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, I mean, Gordon, it's like you wonder about. I mean, where we've been is you get these. We used to have these soul-searching moments when we didn't make tournaments. So we're making Euros, but now we're finding out that next step. And over the piece, you would say, and by the way, I don't want to split hairs here. I mean very roughly, right? Switzerland had chances, so did Hungary. But I mean very roughly, there's clearly not loads between us and Switzerland and Hungary. Germany's a completely different kettle of fish when we played them. There's clearly not much there, difference-wise, hence why we drew one of them and it took 100 minutes to lose the other on the counter-attack.
Yeah, it's all about fine lines.
But what's that next? What's that next bit? What's that next step? And again, it's international football, so if you're not producing players to help you take the next step, what do you...
I think the next step is we have to... We spoke about the players after the last Euros, and you're thinking, right, okay, a bit of experience, more experience coming into this one. If we can go and qualify for another major tournament, we can take that on board. But we have to then analyse and go back and say, that's 6 games.
Yeah.
And it's the same results, right? As in, we lose the first one, we draw, and then we lose. And it's the exact same this Euros as well. Look, I've got to say, I would like to thank Steve Clark and the lads, because this is probably the first time I've ever went to a Euro competition for a full 12 days of it. And it's been unbelievable. What an experience. And I totally understand what the fans get out of this. But my disappointment is we've got ourselves in a position that was there for us tonight. And I think when they reflect back in this, they've got to be really... We should have qualified tonight, in my opinion.
What do you think to that, Joe? Is it a missed opportunity?
Yeah, I think we qualified from a very hard group, and then basically we fell off a cliff.
Yeah, there wasn't much momentum going into the tournament, Mark. That story was told. It was just, I don't know, it's like close, but what does that get you? Like I said, there's not much in 2 of those games, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day when you finish bottom on 1 point.
Yeah, I mean, the run in this tournament, of course, everybody wants a good run in, but look, it's when you arrive here in Germany, you've got to be on the ball. That's what your preparation is for, and the time, down in Garmisch is all about preparing. And then the players and the management team have got to deliver. It's not just the players, the tactics have got to be right. And you've got to have the tactics always been right. We criticised them against Germany.
I think they were wrong.
I think they were right against Switzerland. Tonight it was all too samey for a long, long time. And I think Steve Clark didn't want to lose the game for a long period before he actually went on to attempt to win the game. And that's the disappointing thing. I think the Scotland fans have every right to feel or to act greedy and want to go to the next stage. I really think, because it made a good point, when you qualify so well from a tough group,
you deserve to be there, don't you?
So we're not here to make up the numbers, we're here to progress. And Daz makes a good point as well. Back-to-back tournaments, same results, something's got to get better. And how do we do that?
See if I look at it overall, Gordon, just quickly, and it's very hard, and it's very hard to criticise Steve Clark, because some coaches would have probably used the same method. We played Germany and we get the runaround, right? And we played with 10 men second half. We put everything into Switzerland. I said earlier tonight, that team looked flat to me, and it must have took a toll on them. And funny enough, I was going to pull Big Marvin up when he was on the show, because he was talking about, a bit more freshness, a bit more sharpness in there, use the squad. We brought over a lot of players and a lot of good quality. Maybe when he looks back at it in hindsight, did we ask them to go to the well one more time?
Yeah.
Because when he did make the substitutions, Mark was right. We get in behind, we're making forward runs, we look sharper.
Yeah, thanks to Joe, who's here with us. He's been in the stadium, he's come out to join us, and he's as gutted as everybody else. Let's go to Robert, who's on the phone line. How are you, Robert?
I'm gutted, boys. I'd like to thank Stevie Sideways for getting us to the last 2 tournaments, European Championships, but I think it's time for him to go, boys. I was really disappointed with our performance tonight. It took us to the 108th minute to have a shot on target in one of the biggest, in fact, our biggest game in 4 years. I just don't see. I think he's tactically inept in European football, world football. Even Scotland just didn't look as if they were a team that were going to get 3 points tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing. Look, Steve, there's no way. There is no way Steve Clarke can be exempt from criticism here. Not on any planet. I do wonder though, Robert. Did you think a tactically inept manager gets you through the qualification group the way he did?
I know I made a couple of good results in the qualifiers. We've beaten Spain but we're really good against Norway. We scored 2 goals in the last 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
I just mean that the question exists. You've got 3 games at the tournament and it doesn't go well and fine. And like I say, I'm all on board criticism. It's fine. I'm just wondering about that phrase. Does a tactically inept manager get you to back-to-back Euros with a particularly good camp? And by the way, a playoff in between as well. I just wonder if it's a bit strong.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. Honestly, God, boys, that's one of the biggest games we've played in years tonight, and we never looked like scoring. It's poor. It is really poor.
I think, Gordon, that tactically inept is harsh and insulting to a manager of Steve Clarke's calibre. However, I do think that the caller may have highlighted something about Steve Clarke having cause for reflection. Maybe not tonight, maybe tomorrow, but 2 tournaments back to back, the same ending to those 2 tournaments. 1 point, not creative enough, not enough attack-minded play. He got better when it went gung-ho tonight, when Morgan came on and Shankland and Maclean. It got better when he realised that he was living on borrowed time and he better get these players on. But I wonder, he went round to a part of the ground on his own, Steve Clarke, and he waved bye-bye to people and he went up the tunnel on his own while all of the players were out on the park. I wonder if tonight has given him cause for reflection about his own future. You reach a point where you say, have I gone as far as I can with this group of players?
How much of it do you think is the manager mark, and how much is that is inescapable fact, but it's a frustrating one because this is international football. You can't sign anybody. We don't have much of an attacking X factor. We just don't.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I said tonight, probably about 60 minutes, that it looked like the players themselves were being held back. I didn't see many forward runs. I didn't see Andy Robertson getting up to support his midfield like he did against Switzerland. Seen a different side against Switzerland. It looked like they were being told to play that way, and I'm not saying that in reflection now because we got beat. I said it at the time in the game. So look, it was inevitable as soon as this went badly for Scotland that people would say, oh, Steve Clarke's run his race, because there was so much divide in how we went for this. We took calls, we took people in here saying, I wish Steve Clarke would go for it. Now, if he played the same way and won 1-0, you know, everybody would say, oh, he's a genius, and oh, that's the Steve Clarke way, and we get the job done. Of course, when you get beat 1-0 and you crash out the tournament again, and you don't register that many shots on target, one on target, then that's a problem that people are going to pick holes in your setup. Because Hungary, Daz is right, Hungary individually aren't any better than us, but they still managed 15 shots at our goal. And how many saves did Angus Gunn make? Yeah, and they hit the post and they score a goal. How does that come about? Is that players or is that tactics? That's tactics.
Gordon, are we in that sort of Steve Clarke out territory that Robert wants to take us to?
I think you'll get...
Not for you though.
For me, no, I think Steve Clarke deserves to continue in the job, Gordon. But I'd like to see...
He's not even in the dressing room yet, probably. So, but yeah, I knew that would happen, to be fair. It's inevitable when things don't go.
But I'd like to see him continue because he has achieved what he's achieved, getting us to these tournaments. It's just, can he progress as a coach when he gets to the big stage? Right, because I think you'll look back on a lot of things. I thought he had game plans, and he probably has, because I think he must be a terrific coach and everybody talks so highly. But we brought over a big... Tonight, for me, I looked at our players and I thought a lot of them had run their race long before 60, 70 minutes. And it was because of when you play against a team where you're continually, and I'm talking about Germany, you're chasing the ball, you're chasing shadows.
10 men.
In second half, 10 men. Takes so much out of you. You then get into a pressure cooker that you've got to get a result to keep us alive for this game. That mentally takes a lot out of you. I know it's easy to say, oh, we made our substitutions tonight, it looked fresher, we started getting in behind Armstrong and Shankland or whatever. But I think he's looked at this and I think he's called this wrong. But I'm not shouting for him to be removed, because I think he's brought us here, he's achieved that, we were so close tonight, but he's got to learn from it. As a coach.
Steve Clark must go, says Robert on the line. But how do you feel? 01419511025. We'll take more calls next.
Sal's given her home a camouflage makeover. Lovely. She paid for it with a new Barclaycard Platinum credit card, so she'll pay no interest on purchases for up to 21 months, helping her spread her costs. Now she's found a way to pay for her makeover. Sadly, she can't find anything else. Where's my phone? Where's the door? What you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. Check if you're eligible at barclaycard.co.uk. Barclaycard. Make money work for you. Representative example. 24.9% APR representative variable. 24.9% purchase rate per annum variable based on £1,200 credit limit. Subject to application, financial circumstances and borrowing history. New customers only. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
Molly's heart raced as she gazed longingly at the steamy sight before her. Biting her lip with anticipation, she glanced over at the clock. In a few minutes' time, she thought, things are going to get pretty hot around here. Unable to wait any longer, she hurriedly unbuttoned the top of her blouse to tuck in her napkin, as this steam fresh creamy pasta was going to be very saucy indeed. Bird's Eye Steam Fresh. Frozen meals steamed in minutes. Goodness, that's steamy.
These days, we all know that eating healthily is important, and M&S want to help. So they've called up the guys at the British Nutrition Foundation to talk it over. The result is over 1,800 snacks, meals and drinks with balance at their heart. They call it Eat Well, and it will help you be the best version of yourself. Not only that, it's very easy to spot because every pack has a little Eat Well flower that tells you all you need to know. And because it's M&S, it is, of course, delicious. So next time you're in one of their stores, just follow the flower. Simple. Thanks for listening.
Looking to get car or van insurance double quick? To mustard.co.uk. With top insurance providers, a 5-minute pit stop with us could get you out in front in the race to savings. Car or van, work or play. Compare insurance with mustard.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
Versus Hungary. Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Live from Stuttgart.
Yes, the dust beginning to settle on a disappointing, heartbreaking, insert whatever negative word you want here, because Scotland are out of the Euros and the fans and players are heading home. 01419511025 if you'd like to join us on the phone, and please do so. Martin is joining us live here. Though, Martin, how would you sum up how it feels to be a Scotland fan tonight?
It sort of feels like it always feels, really, doesn't it? You know, a sort of sucker punch. I guess, you know, we weren't a sort of glory failures today, were we? I don't think we turned up, really. I thought the first 60 minutes was quite tactical. Both sides sort of matched each other up. But as the game stretched, I thought they looked much more dangerous. In fact, I'm not even sure we've had a shot on goal over the 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to keep up. I know Grant Hanley had one, but then was there a foul given? Shea Adams had one over the bar, obviously. Some balls flashed across. We certainly had, I don't know, opportunities later, Mark. Not loads, I'm not trying to suggest that, but there wasn't much doing.
Well, I think that's the problem on reflection, and where we're going to get most of the calls and comments from that are negative towards Steve Clark and the setup tonight. That a game that we didn't need to win, let's be honest. You know, a draw probably wouldn't have taken us through anyway, but we needed to win. It's okay setting up the same way, but when it takes on the same pattern for such a long period of time and nothing changes, then that is a problem. And I just highlighted it moments ago that the amount of efforts that Hungary had, at least they were up the pitch to have those efforts. We struggled to get anywhere near the Hungarian box until the closing probably 15 minutes, and even at that, did their goalie make any saves apart from the Hanley one, did he?
It's simple for me, Mark. I don't think we did enough, especially in the final third, to win a game that was so important. It was going to be a set play or a ball that falls in the box and we can take an odd chance. We didn't look like we had patterns of play that we were going to cut them off and get behind, get balls over. Shankly it just looked like crossing our fingers and hoping something was going to fall.
That's a good point, and this isn't a scattergun approach, but the set pieces we've seen in this tournament, Austin McPhee is well renowned for being a set piece coach, and he works at a very high level, and we've scored some good set pieces in the qualification campaign and through his time. I think they've been so poor. It looks like a case of
mostly been the delivery, though. The delivery's been poor, and that he can't take them.
But the delivery, every delivery's just been the same.
I know it's
missed or it's hit the first man. Yeah. But all we've looked to do is go to the back post. Now the delivery's been poor, but it's not like we've worked. Like Hungary had one tonight where they worked a corner that everybody went in. So our set pieces have been poor as well, and that's not having a scattergun. But if that's what you're pinning your hopes on getting a goal from, then create something. But we didn't do that throughout the 3 games.
I really hope one of these other results goes the other way in the coming days, Martin, because if we look back and realise that a draw would have been enough there, and we were drawing until the 100th minute, it's going to be even harder to take. But I suppose maybe that's just a sort of second point.
It is, look, obviously 2 points. If we'd got through, we'd have taken it, but and probably we should have had a pen. I think Armstrong could have got the shot off, but I do think he was connected in his calf. I'm surprised that VAR never had a look at that, but I don't think we did enough to win, did we? And I think, building on I think Gordon's point there was, and it might be we've just not got the right quality up front, but we didn't create much at all in the final third. So I thought they were the better side over the piece. They created the better chances. The boys should have scored earlier before we did. Of course, McTominay could have got one late on, but overall I think we got what deserved.
What we lack is width in the team, right? I know Andy Robertson, everybody talks about how terrific he is, not having a goal. Andy Robertson's probably a left back, Ralston's a right back. Tonight you've seen us, Ralston and Robertson never once get really in behind their defence and give us a win.
Just quickly on Andy Robertson, I'm not saying you're wrong. I think he was fit. I think Andy Robertson was fit tonight.
I think a lot of them were
him in particular
running on
him in particular.
I can't answer that, Gordon.
I'm saying, what do you think? Based on what you saw, how do you think he looked?
Well, when I seen Andy Robertson against Switzerland, especially in the second half, the way he finished it, strong runs up and down the flank, trying to get in behind, I didn't see that tonight. In fact, I didn't even see Andy Robertson, if I'm honest with you. So you may have a point that he ran his race, but he's a captain of the country. He wanted to go out there, wanted to lead by example. Obviously, he gets substituted because of, and he looked like he was limping when he came off.
He looked tentative. He looked tentative in everything he done.
All along, but and even physically off it.
Well, even when he got the ball, he always kind of looked to go back, or and that wasn't the Robertson we seen the other night against Switzerland. And then, it resulted in what we've seen at the end. He couldn't get out to close his man down, and he limps off in the end. But I wonder if he was carrying something, or if he was just playing below his level and then took a knock late on.
Yes, Hugh.
I think it's a very interesting point that you raise, because not only did he look spent, I thought that Callum McGregor has looked spent, even though he was involved in the build-up to the goal that was scored against Switzerland. John McGinn, everybody's idea of the great hope that we have, the great fans' favourite, John McGinn has struggled in every game of this tournament, and that's through no fault of his own. I think the McGinns, the McGregors, they are coming to the end of a tumultuous season that they've had at club and international level, and I simply think that this tournament for Andy Robertson, McGinn, McGregor, they didn't have the energy levels to cope with it.
But I agree with you in the first 2 games, McGinn. I thought McGinn was slightly better tonight, and that's probably that is then agreeing with you, because he didn't play to John McGinn's level that we're used to. But he was slightly better tonight. Can't argue with him on Andy Robertson. Switzerland game in the second half a bit better, but Callum McGregor, he was quiet, and I I even thought at the end there, could he have taken that opportunity on a bit quicker? I'd need to see it back again, but I just thought he was a bit hesitant, which allowed them to get in and defend the situation and go up the other side.
You forget, for anyone who can't remember what Mark's on about, Callum McGregor's got a chance to shoot the goal from about 5 yards, but he can't quite get there. It's not necessarily his fault, but it gets nicked off him and they score. Martin, how does all this reflect on Steve Clarke?
Well, it doesn't reflect well, does it? And it's maybe a tournament, just listen to you guys there, is it a tournament where the big players didn't turn up for us? You know, we've mentioned big good pros there that didn't turn up, and you know, maybe the squad players were the ones who put the shifts in. So look, Steve Clarke, he's not done himself any favours, has he? I mean, how many games is it without
it's
wins?
Only the Gibraltar one, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's not many.
12.
So I think
one win in 12.
There you go. And look, so for any club manager, you could be hounded by the fans there. So he's going to get a lot of criticism. He's obviously well thought of, but I think your point, Mark, that we could have picked the formation in the team, couldn't we? We sort of know how Scotland are going to turn up, and they didn't change really until it really stretched after about 90 minutes. It didn't really change at all, and I think so. Any international manager is going to know how we turn up.
I think it's very easy after a game to, as Mark used the phrase, scattergun, right? But if you're a manager and you sit down, you look at that back three. When we play a back three, Tierney is so important because he breaks forward with Robertson and McGregor, and that's a triangle. We had three players tonight, and Hungary decided, give us the ball and we'll just sit off you, and they played 3 and 1 striker. We took 3 against 1. Not one of the back men broke into the middle of the park and tried to cause problems and then go and play passes. So if you look at it in an ideal world, it would have been better playing my back four and having more.
You wanted to stay 3 before the game.
No, but when I look at it in an ideal world, if you're two centre backs, the two outside centre backs, and they give you the ball and sit off you, you cannot just sit and play a corner. You've got to break into the middle of the park and cause overloads against opposition.
I suppose the temptation, Mark, there was, it was obvious. Yeah, it was wrong in hindsight if Gordon feels that way, but it was to keep it structurally close to what it's always been, and therefore there's that familiarity and people know how it works or should. And also individually I feel like the back three defended pretty well in a strange way, and they cleared a lot of balls that come in at the box. They were excellent from set pieces, but obviously it's that next bit then, it's that attacking bit, so how do you weigh it up?
Well, of course, that's what we're looking at now, because we've lost the game 1-0 and we've had so few sights to go. So we're now, how could we make it better? But you're right, Steve Clarke is a manager who's always been conscious of keeping things tight at the back. So we were always going to start with a 3. We discussed it since the game on Wednesday, and I was firmly a believer that he should have done that. But as the game wears on and you see the same patterns, then the real top, I think, elite managers will change things quickly and adapt quickly. And we didn't, by the way, when we did go to a 4 for a short period, that's when we looked better. Whether that was a mix of the personnel that was coming on or the shape or whatever, we looked better and we got more territory up the pitch. So I don't know if he'll stray, if he still is Scotland manager. I don't know if he'll stray for that formation, but tonight, as the game wore on, it certainly hampered us.
Martin, up the road tomorrow?
Yeah, back to Edinburgh tomorrow.
Back to reality.
Look, I've spent time with some good friends, I've enjoyed the weekend, but the football's disappointing. I actually didn't mind us for the first 60 minutes. I didn't mind us, but when the game stretched, I don't think we affected the game enough, and that was a real disappointment.
Some really good points well made, Martin. Thank you very much. What about the phone lines? Jim's in Aberfoyle. How do you look back on it, Jim?
I was, to say disappointed, would be putting it mildly. To have 80% possession in the first half and not have one shot on goal. And I'll say this, unbiased, Callum McGregor had one good pass in the entire tournament. Ryan Jackson has started or been brought on at half time to replace him, because Callum McGregor done nothing the entire game.
Ryan Jack should have played instead of Callum McGregor.
Ryan Jack's not played enough football, and I like Ryan Jack as a football player, but that wasn't our problem tonight. It certainly wasn't our problem. I keep going back to if we've got 80% of the possession, let me see how much of the possession we had with the back three, because Hungary let us have the ball. It's as simple as that. They let, especially first 25-30 minutes, they let the back three have the ball, and when the back three have got the ball and they're playing square passes, they're going to keep it against one, which leaves you 9v7 in the forward areas. And that's where Hungary, that's why we couldn't create anything. There's nothing up in the formation when Tierney's playing, right? Because Tierney's brilliant, he goes and he commits. When we don't commit, we've got 9v7 in there. We're not going to dictate the game in there.
We'll take all suggestions after a disappointment like that one. Hugh, where does Ryan Jack should have played instead of Callum McGregor sit with you?
No, that for me, that's the possibility of letting club rivalry get in the way here. I just think that we did not play well enough. From the German game was a disaster. The Switzerland game, we went toe-to-toe, we slugged it out and we rode our luck, and we got the draw that built up the hopes of the country. And tonight we have not done enough to win that football match, and we go out of the tournament with disappointment, but let's not have delusion along with the disappointment. We didn't do enough over the course of the tournament to deserve anything other than what has happened, and that is the repeat of history. Fall at the final hurdle and go home.
Final word to you, Jim.
Why did they take Ryan Jack if he'd no chance of playing him? Why take him?
Well, that could apply to James Forrest as well. Why take James Forrest and never show him a minute of game time?
Forrest should have started this game as well, or been brought on at half time. Because we had better players on the bench than what were brought into the park. Now,
that sounds a bit hindsight, though, doesn't it?
That's not true.
And also, I get it because we've all been there. But you take 26 players, you're not using 26 over 3 games. You're not using even close to 26 over 3 games. You're just not. It's just what tournament football is.
The only thing I will sort of agree slightly, right, that I would criticise, I don't think we used the squad enough. You look at against Switzerland.
Yeah, that game in particular.
Right, we brought in substitutions with 4 minutes to go, Gordon. Right, so you've asked these players to go to the well, as they call it, time and time again. Now, would you pick the team tomorrow if you're playing the biggest game? You would have McTominay, McGinn, McGregor, Gilmore, guys like that. Of course you would. They are big players. Unfortunately, I totally agree with you. We have not done enough.
Can't argue with that. That's why you're heading home in the morning. Thank you to Jim on 01419511025, and we'll take more of your calls or more reaction from the Scotland fans here in Stuttgart after these.
Live from Stuttgart, this is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
It's nearly midnight here in Germany, but the disappointment, well, I was going to say, is running deep amongst the Scotland fans, and I guess it is, but I can still see people sort of laughing and cheering and drinking beer and dancing around. I suppose that's all you can do when you're here in party mode. Liam joins us on the show, though. Liam, how does it feel when you look back on that tonight and the tournament as a whole?
I would say missed opportunities. I would say, do you know what? It's good to be here. It's good to be at a tournament. Scotland have done nothing for years. We made it to Germany. We gave it a good crack. Disappointing in the end, but we're going to be back. We've got a few games. We're in the Group A of the Nations League. Brilliant. We've gone on leaps and bounds under Steve Clarke. Disappointing tonight, but we go forward. We've got big tournament coming down the way. We can make it to the World Cup. It's going to be terrific.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that.
Scotland are on the way up. I still believe it. I still believe it.
What was on the way up about this tournament? There was no up
Switzerland.
About it.
Switzerland.
With a one draw in a tournament's not on the way up.
Switzerland was a great performance. Tonight, listen, that was a 50-50 game. Towards the end, that could have gone either way. We should have had a penalty, let's be honest. I've not seen it back, but
yeah, I mean, we all agree with that.
All my WhatsApp messages saying that was a penalty for Scotland. So, listen, it's a 50-50 one.
I think that bit, Gordon, that bit's true. I think it was a 50-50. They scored in the 100th minute because we were pressing the other end. That's fine, okay, but I'm not sure anyone how we back up the notion that Scotland are on the up after that. And if your sample size is the last
25 years, then we are. We've made 2 tournaments, but we're not on the up after that tournament.
No, for me it's been a disappointing tournament, and it got off to a disappointing start. We sort of swept under the carpet saying, well, it was Germany, it was a host nation, we went down to 10 men, we get beat 5-1 going on anything they wanted, so we went into a pressure game after that. I don't think we were tremendous against Switzerland. I think what we were very good at was it was all about the result to keep this alive for tonight. And what you said there about we missed a great opportunity, I do agree with that. Okay, the stats say up there that Hungary had more shots at goals and everything, and we had 8% possession, but all our possession...
Listen, there is an eye test. We all just watched that game. It's not like any of us felt, oh man, these are a really good side, we're struggling to... It just wasn't that.
I think I do agree. I think the boys, Scotland lads, will look back in this and think, do you know what? That was staring us right in the face and we didn't grab it.
What do you think?
Listen, I'd say look at the last 15 minutes. McGinn's off the park, Robertson's off the park. Like, how many games, how many injuries they've had this season? Our 2 best players couldn't last 90 minutes, and then our shape was all over the place last 10 minutes because they were going for the game, because they needed to win. I mean, personally, would you want to be like try go through at 2 points? I mean, and then watching those games, the next round of games, at least they gave it a crack. They gave it a crack. They didn't go through. They're going to move on.
See, I think that's where a lot of the Tarn Army will disagree with you. They'll say that they didn't give it a crack. They didn't give it their best.
Last 10 minutes they did.
Yeah, listen, but you're not going to survive in a tournament in the last 10 minutes when you've got 90 plus minutes against a team that, okay, they're ranked better than us, but they didn't impress me at all. I think a lot of Scotland fans listening to this will say, do you know what? That's where we let ourselves down. We didn't give it a go.
Yeah. But what's the alternative though? Like, I know there'll be lots of a lot of my mates are saying Steve Clark out, Steve Clark's run aground. I don't believe that for a second. I think he's done a phenomenal job. He has turned around Scotland. 100% he's turned around Scotland. Maybe Shankland should have been given more than, I don't know how many minutes Shankland's had the whole tournament, maybe about 20. Shankland probably should have had more minutes for Scotland, but I mean, listen, I'm still optimistic about Scotland.
Hugh, I suppose that the Steve Clark one is difficult because when you're the guy that raises the bar, then you deserve praise for raising the bar, but then you get judged against that as well, and people look for progress. So I don't think these sort of questions of Steve Clark and whether it's the solution going forward, to have that discussion I don't think is inappropriate. I think to rewrite history and claim that he's this absolute dud who's never done anything and would be well short of him, no doubt about it, that's clearly exaggerated. So I don't know, where do you sit on it?
I mean, and who else would there be?
Well, first of all, I don't join any Clark must go movement. What I'm interested in tonight is how Steve Clark personally reflects on his 5 years in management. We've now gone back-to-back tournaments, which is to his eternal credit. But have we stopped progressing? That's the question he will ask himself. Are we going backwards or forwards? He may decide that he can get more out of these players and bring in the ones who were denied us, the Nathan Pattersons, the Aaron Hickeys, the Lewis Fergusons. He may decide that. Or he may look at it and think, maybe somebody else might be able to progress them more than I can. That is a decision which is purely for Steve Clark to take. The SFA will put him under no pressure whatsoever. The fans can start the scattergun anytime they like, but no one's going to listen to that either. It's entirely about Steve Clark tonight and how he feels this is progressing, because there is no hard luck story. We didn't do enough. And the previous tournament, all right, a false tournament because of the COVID restrictions and what have you, but over those 2 tournaments we haven't done enough to convince that we are anytime soon going to be major players at a major international tournament.
I think that's not, you can't disagree with that, Mark. At the same time, that's what you just have to be
I don't know if it's that killer instinct, is it getting your big moments right? Because the way this tournament's formatted, you only play 3 times, and as we've covered, with 5 minutes to go or 10 minutes to go, it's like one moment in your favour sends you through and everything's great, and one moment against you sends you out and everything's up in the air. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's bound to be quite knee-jerk either way.
Yeah.
So I said that we got a corner. In fact, I think I said it as we took that corner that they broke from. That corner ends up in the net. We're all going crazy and saying this is history making, but it ended up in the net at the other side, and here we are saying Steve Clarke needs sacked. So it's a fickle old business, international football, isn't it?
Without doubt, because you progress so much to get to these tournaments, and then, like you say, so much depending on 3 games, and within those 3 games you're pitted up against teams who are ranked higher than you in the FIFA rankings, who have got world-class players at the top end of the pitch, and if you don't do well, then fans, the way football is now, fans just want managers and coaches sacked pretty instantly. So it's not about that, but Hugh makes a good point. Are we going forward? Are we going backwards? The minute, I don't think we're doing either. I think we're standing still. And I've made the point all along, when Scotland have got to back-to-back tournaments, the next stage is for us to win a game there, to take us forward a step. And we had that opportunity tonight, and we should have taken it.
Maybe a very simplistic view of things, Gordon, but maybe that is then about seeing if you can get back to another one. So you get to one and you don't do well. The next step is probably to get to another one, which we did. So I take Mark's point, but maybe I don't know how fans' patience levels work. But does the pressure to progress then come more in the next one? I know it sounds quite defeatist, but when you've only been at 2 since 1998, it's hard to raise that bar too much.
Yeah, but you look at the 2 and you can't really say that we've learned, right? You've got to learn.
Mark saying it's a kind of standing still.
Yeah, you've got to learn. I totally agree. I'm not in here to say Steve Clarke must go, but I think that Steve Clarke is the same as any player, anybody in any walk of life. You've got to learn. You've got to keep progressing. Is he at the stage where he's gone to that bar that he just can't go over the next hurdle? We've seen it a million times with players and managers and coaches and everybody involved. So I don't know. Only Steve Clarke will answer that. I'm not sitting here after a disappointing tournament saying he must go, because I've enjoyed the fact that he brought us here. But we have to start moving in a forward direction.
But here's the bit that makes it all more wide-ranging, Mark, and why I know why we do it as football fans. We do it in the show all the time. We look for a silver bullet. Well, it's just Steve Clarke's fault. You just get rid of Steve Clarke and then things will be better. Or, we will look for that one thing that fixes everything. This was the oldest squad in the group in the tournament. Scotland had the oldest squad in the tournament. So if you're now going to ask Steve Clarke to progress this squad again, fine, and that's his job as a manager. Andy Robertson's now getting into his 30s, and John McGinn's getting into his 30s, and Callum McGregor's getting into his 30s. But I can see you're frowning. They were the oldest squad at the tournament, it's a fact.
But the players you mentioned are class players.
Listen, they've been excellent. I'm talking about progress from here.
Who can absolutely play in the qualifiers for the World Cup.
Absolutely.
Could probably even play in the next Euros
Absolutely.
as well.
Then what, though?
Class acts. He did try and bring like Ben Duncan.
Is anything negative in your world, though?
Absolutely.
I like it.
You're very optimistic.
It was horrible to watch. And I'm a Hibs fan.
We're getting there.
I'm a Hibs fan.
Some bad stuff.
I've seen horror shows all my life, and that was tough to watch. But I'm just choosing to take a different view. And like the players you mentioned can be stalwarts for Scotland for the next 4 years. Clarke did try to bring in Doak and all that sort of stuff. But it's I don't know. Maybe it's thin gruel with younger players. Like
exactly, and that is my point. When you're looking to progress from here, I'm not saying Andy Robertson now retires from international duty. Far from it. What I'm saying is, if you're looking for them to now continually keep getting better, you might be up against it.
And that's not going to happen. Being ex-footballers, we know what happens when you get to those ages that things very rarely get better. Only like Ronaldo and Messi.
Like I say, I'm not saying getting worse. I'm not saying retirement, but is there going to be marked improvement?
Well, Who knows? Look, there was a lot wrong with this tournament before we even kicked the ball. Thinking the amount of players and young players you mentioned, Doak Berliam, who had to drop out the squad. Had we had the full squad, would have looked different. Who knows?
I think Hickey would have made a big difference.
Hickey would have made a difference. Patterson as a backup right back would have made an option. Dykes is an option. You know, so loads of things could have made a difference.
Well, I have to say, it has been an absolute pleasure. I know that sounds bizarre. It's been a life-changing, or a memorable experience that we'll all take it. No, but seriously though, serious heads for a second, it has been incredible, hasn't it? Football rubbish, and we'll get to that, I'm sure, as the summer progresses.
As a life experience, Gordon, it's been something else, something that I've never experienced. I've been in football a long time, but to come here and experience these 12 days has been something special.
Not a lot excites me, but I've got to say this has been a fantastic trip, a fantastic experience, as Mark quite rightly says. Just watching the Tartan Army come over here in their droves and how they celebrate and how they go about their business. Brilliant, Gordon.
Hugh Keevins, don't worry, we will speak to you soon. We will be home and we will all reunite, but we are almost out of time. A Euros that promised so much and delivered little. A truly unbelievable experience for those who were here, but on the pitch it did not go to plan, and now the fallout begins. We're back tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your night.
The Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast.
With Lucas Volvo. Looking to sell your Volvo? Contact them today for a no-obligation quotation.
Sal's given her home a camouflage makeover. Lovely. She paid for it with a new Barclaycard Platinum credit card, so she'll pay no interest on purchases for up to 21 months, helping her spread her costs. Now she's found a way to pay for her makeover. Sadly, she can't find anything else. Where's my phone? Where's the door? What you buy is your business. Helping you pay less interest is ours. Check if you're eligible at barclaycard.co.uk. Barclaycard. Make money work for you. Representative example. 24.9% APR representative variable. 24.9% purchase rate per annum variable based on £1,200 credit limit. Subject to application, financial circumstances and borrowing history. New customers only. T's and C's and exclusions apply.
Molly's heart raced as she gazed longingly at the steamy sight before her. Biting her lip with anticipation, she glanced over at the clock. In a few minutes' time, she thought, things are going to get pretty hot around here. Unable to wait any longer, she hurriedly unbuttoned the top of her blouse to tuck in her napkin, as this steam fresh creamy pasta was going to be very saucy indeed. Bird's Eye Steam Fresh, frozen meals steamed in minutes. Goodness, that's steamy.